It's dragon time.
It's dragon time!
Dragon time.
We're past the halfway point. It's episode 5. We're almost out of dragons.
Oh, but don't you worry. There's still a whole bucket full of lizards left. This podcast will be no spoilers except for the spoiler zone at the end.
Oh, yeah. It's also longer on Nebula. Crazy.
It is longer on Nebula. We do appreciate if you watch this on Nebula because you do get like twice as much dragon time if you are subscribed to Nebula. It's a good way to support us.
Double the lizards, double the time.
Dragon time. Talk about the lizards. Breathing fire in the sky.
Old Swift X, what did you think of Season 3, Episode 5 of House of the Dragon?
I found it to be disorienting and I feel like there were a lot of scenes. It was like quick, fast, abrupt, scene, and I feel like none of it went anywhere.
This is like the smallest episode so far, but also it's so many itty bitty little things. It's like an entire bag of trail mix. Like, ooh, we've got a few peanuts of Kristen Cole there. We've got some walnuts. So I guess that's Alicent. Yeah, whereas the other episodes, there have been meteor bites. It's really nice to catch up with Aemond and Kristen, and we see more about Aemond and Darren, and you know, Rhaenyra has definitely taken a back foot, which I guess makes sense for this part of the story. Baela finally talks about herself. Helena's making decisions. I think a lot of positive things are happening in this episode. I will say, after the last episode, I was like, oh, off we go. There's going to be a huge battle at Tumbleton next episode. And instead I get 66 minutes of people meditating about death and bodily autonomy.
Yeah, no, I think this episode, it was very much one of those in-between episodes, and it was a setup episode. And it was almost like taking a breather. It was almost like the calm before the storm. I mean, not calm, but the relative calm. Or perhaps a building up of tension, rather.
And I definitely feel that now. I really did think that the previous episode was that, but now I feel very tense after this episode.
I feel like the editing was really distinctly abrupt. Like, we had these really sudden cuts from one scene to a different scene in a different location.
Yeah, there's one cut in particular that, like, Alicent looks up and you hear Daemon's voice and you're like, hang on a moment, is Daemon in the room with Alicent? And then it cuts to a different scene, like, oh, okay, that's not happening.
Yeah, that's true. They very often had this device of playing the audio from one scene over the visuals of a different location.
It's called a J-cut, everyone.
A J-cut?
I actually really liked this episode.
Yeah? I think that I dislike it.
It finally happened, everyone.
I know, this might be a time when we disagree, because I felt like some of these plot lines made no sense. Like,
really? Okay.
The Alicent Helena plotline.
Sure.
Like, we'll get into it. My feeling about that plotline, about it's all convoluted, but it goes nowhere. Like, I feel similarly about the Kristen and Gwaine plot. Because where we were left with Kristen and Gwaine last episode was Gwaine was saying, let's go back to Aemond, and Kristen was saying, nah, let's fight and die gloriously. And after, like, 3 different Gwaine and Kristen scenes this episode, they end up in that same spot, which is Kristen being like, I'm gonna die gloriously. Gwaine does leave.
Yes.
Gwaine does leave.
Something happens.
So something does kind of occur.
I did find it quite bewildering that Gwaine only now put it together that Kristen was marching them all to their certain demise.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think I've been talking about this whole time?
Yeah, that's the same speech that Kristen has given, like, at least twice
but it's
previously.
so good. It's a really good speech, and he's really good at it. I fucking love Fabian Frankel in this episode. This episode is so tonally evocative, is it not?
It has an emotional purpose, but I feel like there's a bit of spinning the wheel that's going on. I did really like Laris having that rant at Aegon. I love that Laris finally snapped.
Yeah.
Because Laris, up until now, has always been composed. He's hiding his true feelings. He's playing 4D chess. He's playing the long game. You never know what he's really feeling.
Finally, he says, actually, fuck you.
Yeah.
You suck.
Aegon,
do you know how much of an asshole you are, Aegon?
However, at the same time, I feel like Laris has lost his mystique completely at this point.
I think that the interest between Aegon and Laris now is their relationship rather than their standings. And I agree that Laris is more interesting when he's a more interesting person. But what they're doing with Aegon and Laris is still very, very fun to me. Tyland Lannister appearing out of thin air is a curveball.
Yeah.
That's a curveball.
That is a curveball. I was delighted.
It is fucking hilarious when Elinda Massey walks up to Rhaenyra and Daemon goes, ugh. He just walks away.
I made the exact opposite sound when I saw
I know,
Alinda
me
Massey.
too.
I was delighted.
Alinda.
I clapped. Alinda! I was intrigued by the murder mystery that they're doing.
Yeah, that's fun.
I have some theories. Someone's murdering gold cloaks in King's Landing, and it seems like someone is very capable who's doing this. Like someone like created that whole Last Supper grizzly gold cloak diorama at the end.
Tangentially, this person is familiar with the works of Leonardo da Vinci. So
Yes.
we're working with a top brain individual here.
We got to see cyvasse.
We saw we've finally 3 shows.
Yeah.
What is this, 10 seasons of Game of Thrones? And we
Yeah.
have finally seen cyvasse.
So in the books, there's a game called cyvasse, which is the Game of Thrones version of chess. And it's on a different shaped board, and it has, dragons
pieces.
and different kinds of pieces on it. And after, after 100 episodes, we've now finally gotten to see Game of Thrones chess, cyvasse, on screens.
We'll get back to your murder mystery theories in a
All right,
moment.
all
I
right.
fucking promise.
So
But this episode, we had cyvasse, meditations on history, a pointless death march, perseverance in the face of certain annihilation, focusing on the nitty-gritty issues of domestic politics instead of grand fantastical ideas. I know Ryan Condal said he was adapting Fire and Blood. This is a feast for crows. Ryan Condal, instead of adapting the book that he was supposed to adapt, he's just adapting the parts of A Song of Ice and Fire that Benioff and Weiss didn't adapt.
Yeah, which is kind of fun and like not a bad idea.
I actually love that for everyone.
Yeah. No, I love it too. I did enjoy the Alice Aemond stuff. I think that they are doing a great job with making Alice this mysterious ghost of Harrenhal.
Yeah, they've sucked all the mystique out of Laris and given it to Alice.
Yeah, exactly. I like how they are maintaining Alice's mystique, because she still is mysterious, but she is like fun and charismatic and powerful.
Tell me your theories about the murder mystery, please.
Here are my top 5 theories for who's doing the murdering. I mean, confusingly, we do see that beardy guy who gets captured by Luther and Daemon, and he did some of the murders or was involved in some of the murders, it seems. That was kind of confusing to me, but there are clearly more culprits behind the murders of the Gold Cloaks. Number 1, faceless men. So in Game of Thrones, there's that death cult that Arya joins, and they magically assassinate people. They were important in Game of Thrones, and they are important in the books, and so I think it would be really fun and interesting if Ormond hired the Faceless Men to kill people in King's Landing to undermine Rhaenyra. So I think the Faceless Men could maybe be who's murdering Gold Cloaks. All right, here's another theory, and don't you laugh, but I think that Ulf might be the murderer.
I know you said not to laugh.
All right. Hear me out. So, last episode, Rhaenyra said to Ulf, "You can't go to the tavern because you might get stabbed in your belly." And Ulf is like, "It's my belly." And Rhaenyra says, "No, it's my belly. Your belly is my belly." And so, how are these Gold Cloaks being murdered?
They're being gutted. Their bellies are being split open.
They're being disemboweled. They're being stabbed at the belly. And so I think Ulf is so furious that he's been banned from the pub that to get revenge on Rhaenyra, he's been going out stabbing Gold Cloaks in the belly. And now, yes, we were told that Ulf has been sent to Tumbleton, but we have not seen him at Tumbleton. He wasn't there when Hugh arrived. And he has a dragon, so he could just fly back. It wouldn't take long to fly from Tumbleton to King's Landing.
You think that Ulf... now remind me, Ulf is the buffoon.
Yes.
You think that Ulf is outsmarting the City Watch?
I think he's a buffoonish drunk by day and a master assassin by night.
I do love that. Maybe Ulf is himself a faceless man.
All right. Okay, you don't like the Ulf theory. Here's my 3rd theory on who the murderer is. This is a serious one. I think that Helena is a werewolf. Because what does Helena say this episode? Helena says, "Oh, I need to look at the moon. Oh, I need to go and look at the moon." Why does she say that, Glidus?
Because she's a werewolf.
Because she's a werewolf. She needs to keep an eye on when the full moon is.
Wait, but that makes absolutely no sense.
Why not?
Because those men die when Helena is trapped in a tunnel.
Here's my other theory who's doing the murderers. In season 1, Laris had a crack team of arsonists. He went to the dungeons, he ripped out their tongues, and he sent them to kill his own family. They had firefly pins. What happened to the fireflies? Laris had a team of assassins.
Yeah, this, I think, would clean up what the fuck happened with the Fireflies, why is Laris being so useless this season,
Yeah.
and it would tie things together quite nicely, I think.
It would actually make a lot of sense because it is in Laris's interests to undermine Rhaenyra so that Laris can eventually come back and install Aegon. This is my 5th theory on who's murdering the cops in King's Landing. It's Alice. And you know why it's Alice? Last season, Alice Rivers assassinated Lord Grover Tully. Lord Grover Tully could not control his bowels. All right. So, like, bowels moment. So that's why Alice is turning into a barn owl, flying over to King's Landing, and then as Del, she is disemboweling the gold cloaks with
those
Del's horns.
Oh my god. Case closed.
6th theory on who's murdering the gold cloaks. It's bold John Roxton's Roxton squad.
Okay, the Ginyu Force.
The Ginyu Force. It's the Roxton squad. Roxton and the Orphan Makers. If they were a band, they'd be called John Rox and the Orphan Makers.
Johnny Rocks.
And what's happening with all these dead gold cloaks? Orphans are being made. The assassin is making orphans.
There's never any specification that any of those men have children.
Well, some of them must. And so bold John Roxton. What do you think the Roxton squad has been doing this whole time?
This is what makes you so good as a theorist. Like, I say just a thing that would make your theory pointless, and you say, but what if it's not?
All right, those are my top 6 theories on who's murdering the gold cloaks.
I hope it's associated with Laris, be that faceless man via Laris or Fireflies. Although Alice Rivers, Del the Goat, Helena Werewolf at the same time, that sounds awesome. Give me that.
Obviously, the show is revealing that Aemond is behind it, but we still don't know who's doing it. They might be boring and just say, oh, yeah, it's just some random no-name extra with a knife, like the beard guy.
I hope that there's a better answer for this particular civic unrest murder mystery than the one that David and Dan gave us in 2016.
Yeah, look, House of the Dragon has its highs, it has its lows. I have my complaints with Hot D, but even at its stupidest, House of the Dragon is smarter than Game of Thrones season 6, 7, and 8. That's how I feel. Okay, I have a 7th theory. My 7th theory on who's killing the gold cloaks.
Stupid, please.
The 7th theory is the little birds. So in the show and the books, Varys has a bunch of children who work for him as spies. And in the books, Varys rips out their tongues so they can't share his secrets. And in the books, the little birds kill Pycelle.
Yeah, okay.
And so there is a crack team of child assassins in King's Landing.
170 years in the future.
170 years in the future. But we see a child spy this episode.
Yeah, true.
We see a child spy working for Aemond.
Laris takes the tongues out of his fireflies.
Oh, you know who it is?
Mysaria.
It's the kids from the fighting pits.
Oh, yeah.
Season 1 established that there's a bunch of trained killer children with filed teeth in King's Landing, and then Mysaria said close the fighting pits. Where do you think those fighting children go after the fighting pits are closed?
Do you think they go into orphanages and soup kitchens? Nah, baby, they're killing City Watch members on the streets and taking their money.
They're killing cops, and they're getting revenge for the failure of the City Watch to protect them.
Invoking Varys just makes me think, well, who's the current Master of Whisperers in King's Landing? Is Mysaria involved? That sounds wacky as fuck. But, you know, Alicent brings Mysaria's loyalties into question this episode.
Mysaria is explicitly wanting to defund the cops.
Yeah, she hates the City Watch and she hates Daemon, and she was the person advocating for the safety and freedom of those children with filed teeth in the fighting pits. So, you know, maybe she's using them to kill cops.
I think that is not what's going on, because this
agree.
scene, we have that scene where Alicent is asking Mysaria to lie to Rhaenyra, and the emotion of that scene is destroyed if it turns out Mysaria was against Rhaenyra all along.
Yeah, I think that works better if Mysaria is currently loyal to Rhaenyra, and we see that split beginning in this episode when Mysaria asks to talk with Rhaenyra and she says, "Not now, I have to yell with my husband."
Yeah. Okay, 8th theory. Here's the 8th
These 5
theory.
theories have really ballooned.
The 8th theory is the caterpillars. So there are these caterpillars.
Should I just leave?
So there are caterpillars that are eating nightshade, and Helena says you can't touch them because they're poisonous. What do you think a poisonous caterpillar turns into? What does a poisonous caterpillar metamorphose into?
A werewolf.
A toxic
butterfly. Yeah.
A toxic butterfly. And George R. R. Martin, when he complained about this show 2 years ago, he talked about toxic butterflies. So in the most hilarious meta twist ever, these toxic butterflies are flying out of the Red Keep, Godswood, and
the City
into...
Watch members are touching them, like they're grazing them with their bellies, and their bellies burst open because of them. Yeah, okay.
The toxicity of the bellies of the butterflies explodes the guts of the gold cloaks in a glorious practical effects explosion of viscera.
Wow, that's one hell of a protracted metaphor.
I think that's my favorite one yet.
Caterpillar.
That was our gold cloak theories.
Should we talk about the episode?
Oh, yeah. So the episode starts with the Riverlord's army, which was rallied by Daemon in season 2, and which is now led by Lord Oscar Tully, the young lord, along with Lord Roderick Dustin, Roddy the Ruin, who's leading the Winter Wolves from the north.
They're being constantly harassed by Kristen Cole and his band of merry men. So the plan is for the Riverlord's army to make it to Tumbleton to like root out Ormond, but Kristen is delaying them because he's a cheeky little bastard.
He's a cheeky little bastard. And Oscar and Roderick are annoyed by these guerrilla attacks. They burned a bridge that the Riverlords needed to cross the river, so they use Kristen's guerrilla tactics against him. In the books, there's a scene where the Riverlords kill some men and create this diorama of like dead men sitting around a table. And
do you mean like what happens at the end of this episode?
Yeah. At the end of this episode, it is someone who sets up gold cloaks in like a ghoulish, grisly, gruesome diorama around the table.
If it's the Riverlords in the book, there's no reason to think it shouldn't be the Riverlords in the show as well. So I guess Oscar Tully is behind the Gold Cloaks murder. It's a 9th theory added to the list. This is Oscar Tully at his most Robb Stark, I think.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Tully look more... I mean, Robb Stark is the Tully Stark, so it makes sense.
Yeah, true.
Kristen Cole has a 20 good men moment where he sort of invades the Riverman camp and kills people and throws torches into their tents.
Kristen Cole personally kills Lord Peter Piper.
Yeah, fucked up.
Damn. Piper. Barely knew her.
Wow.
I'll tell you one thing. I think this is the worst visual effects shot that we've seen in this season.
Oh, yeah?
I think the fire looks very CGI and fake. That's what I think.
You're going to feel so stupid when the behind the scenes of this episode comes out and that's real fire.
I think it's not. I don't think that, like, the characterization of Oscar and Roderick is particularly interesting. It's not bad, but it's just...
Yeah, it's not.
You know.
It's nothing to rave about.
We're reminded that Roderick comes from the north, which is a different place and a different culture. We're impressed that Oscar is a strong leader for such a young person, and that's kind of as much as we get from this, I guess.
Harrenhal, Del the Goat.
It's really funny to think that Alice prefers to be in the form of Del the Goat. Like, it's like she only turns into Alice when she needs to talk to people.
That's her resting state.
Yeah.
You see Del the Goat walk off screen one way and then Alice walk on screen from that same direction. It couldn't be more clear. They're the same guy.
And again, there is no magic in any of the books or show in which a person can transform into an animal. So this is new and unique. So then we're at the haunted castle
I've
of
come
Alice
to kill
Rivers.
Aemond One-Eye. I will kill him and this will be my castle. Ah, a bat!
Yeah, it seems like everyone who's coming to Harrenhal looking for Aemond appears to be a dickhead, and Alice scares them off by doing a spooky witch performance.
Yeah, true. Where are the valiant knights come to slain the great villain Aemond One-Eye?
Where's the Dunk the Tall?
Yeah. Turns out that sort of person, even if they do exist, might be busy at this point in time, or have more sense than that.
Alice gives a wonderful performance as the ghost, and she talks about how Harrenhal was built 130 years ago by a ironborn king, Harrenhal, who brutally enslaved rivermen and cut down a sacred grove of weirwood trees, and so the blood of the innocent fed the bricks and the mortar of Harrenhal. And Alice talks about Harrenhal as a woman, which is quite interesting, saying that she thirsts. And so the idea of a sort of vengeful Mother Nature who wishes to drink from the blood of the men who conquered and colonized her, I think is evocative.
Oh yeah, I love this speech from Alice.
Yeah.
It's great.
Talking about Harrenhal as female connects Harrenhal to Alice, and so like we can wonder,
Yeah.
Is Alice Harrenhal? Is she the embodiment
Yeah.
of the castle?
I did think that her doing that, her referring to Harrenhal as a woman, was her basically saying, "It's me, I'm Harrenhal.
Yeah, yeah.
She's always thirsty, I'm thirsty."
Yeah, and I love how she talks about the greedy and the heedless and the arrogant,
And
because
ungrateful queen.
yeah, because like over the centuries, so many people have tried to take Harrenhal out of their own hubris, and all of them have failed and been destroyed.
And none of them respect it.
Yeah,
None of them respect her. Daemon disrespected Alice.
yeah.
Is Aemond going to respect Alice, give her what she wants?
And the
I don't know.
Freys want Harrenhal, and they have no idea or understanding
Yeah,
or
yeah.
respect for what they're asking.
Even Jace bandied Harrenhal around as a prize to be won, not some sacred
Yeah.
place to be revered.
It is a monument to all the evil that's been done in the name of power and ambition. It's a monument to all of the fire and bloodletting and suffering that's been happening in Westeros for hundreds or thousands of years.
Right.
It's a monument to all our sins.
So, vengeful Mother Nature. Aemond Targaryen is, like, built from the ground up to appreciate that. What is Vhagar but vengeful Mother Nature? She is a beast of the world who is made of death and destruction, right? Aemond has been praising the motherly god of destruction, his entire life.
Yeah, well, yeah, Vhagar's interesting, because I guess you could see Vhagar as, like, that feminine, vengeance, violent force. But at the same
And
time...
Vhagar is the only remnant of that era of history, other than Harrenhal itself, right?
Yeah, Vhagar was the only one who was alive at the time of Harrenhal's construction and burning.
Alice knows Vhagar. They go way back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's so true.
Vhagar wasn't at the burning of Harrenhal. Well, in the books at least. Maybe she could have been in the show. I don't know.
What is Alice's relationship to Vhagar? I think is a great question. Because, yeah, they are both these ancient, war-weary females. But I think that Vhagar kind of represents the opposite of the sort of nature spirit, because Vhagar is the abomination of fire, the pure engine of destruction who can destroy but not create. But,
well, Harrenhal itself is an abomination.
Yeah. Well, that's why the trees are trying to reclaim it.
Yeah.
Bring down its stones and return them to the earth.
God, I just love everything that's happened in Harrenhal this entire show.
Yeah, I agree. It's been consistently strong. Everyone was like, where's Aemond and where's Vhagar? And we've now discovered that Aemond has apparently been hidden in Harrenhal the whole time.
He's been doing what Daemon did last season, but off screen.
But Vhagar is out and about burning towns without Aemond. And that was a surprise. Because in the books, it sounds like Aemond is on Vhagar burning towns. But here, Vhagar goes and does it independently, which is a surprise. But it makes so much sense. Because one of the questions throughout this show is like, to what extent are the dragons doing stuff independently for their own reasons, disobeying their riders? And it's so interesting if Vhagar's just outdoing what Vhagar does, which is burning innocent people by the
burninating
thousands.
all the peasants.
Burninating the peasants and their thatched roof cottages. And Aemond is just like, I'm not even in charge. Like
I was sleeping. Where's my dragon?
Aemond is just a passenger, and we see how Aemond Aemond needs Vhagar more than Vhagar needs Aemond.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And without Vhagar, Aemond's ego immediately crumbles, we see in this scene.
So Aemond's like self-respect and Aemond's sense of power and safety and emotional safety is contingent on him going along with what Vhagar wants to do, which is war. It's like Aemond is like kind of forced to become a monster, because it's what Vhagar wants to do, and he ultimately can't stop Vhagar from being that. It's like, I mean, Aemond, I suppose, did choose to burn Sharp Point last season, but it doesn't seem like he chose to burn Wendish Town this
how
episode.
much of Aemond's choices are influenced by Vhagar?
Yeah. It's a bit chicken and egg.
We've seen Hugh change a little bit, but moreover, we've seen Ulf change, having claimed Silverwing. Like, the dragons change you. Aemond's been having nightmares. Aw, poor baby. He needs to see his mummy.
He sure does. I think Vhagar is Aemond's mummy.
Explain.
Well, Aemond is desperate for a mother figure because he doesn't feel close with Alicent. And so he has sex with Sylvie, who is an older woman who treats him like a child. So he's desperate for a mother figure. And Vhagar is a female. She's a lady dragon. And Vhagar has like completely redefined Aemond's whole identity for his entire adult life and made him all about fire and destruction. And I think that maybe on some level, his like desperation for intimacy with a female figure attracts him to this older woman. Vhagar is an older woman, just like Sylvie is an older woman, and just like Alice is very old. Alice is older than she looks. And so Aemond just keeps attaching himself and nestling himself into the bosom of an older lady, and sometimes those older ladies are scaly.
They happen to be lizards, yes.
Yeah.
Look, if you're yearning for a connection with a motherly figure, what connection could be stronger than the psychic bond between dragon and rider, right?
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is that while Vhagar is an older woman mother figure, she also is a nuclear arsenal and an engine of destruction.
She's a god of destruction and death, yes.
So what does it mean when your closest mother figure is a nuclear warhead? I
think it's normal. I think that's fine, actually. It worked for me.
It reminds me of Maslow's monkeys. Was your mother a warhead? It reminds me of Maslow's monkeys, which is like or Harlow's monkeys. One of those like classic psychology experiments back before there were ethics standards was that this guy got monkeys and he separated the baby monkeys from their parents, and he put the monkey in a box where there was one monkey figure that was like made of soft cloth, and then but it had no food, and then there was a separate monkey figure, mother monkey figure in the other corner that was made of metal and wire, but it did have food. And so the question was, will the monkey attach itself to the soft?
It's about comfort or resources.
Yeah. And what would happen is that the monkey would like get the food from the metal mother, but then would cling to and attach itself to the cloth, soft, comfortable mother. And so it's like a study in how us primates, we want a mother that is comfortable and soft and nurturing and feels...
We want warmth and connection.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And so I think here is Aemond clinging to this cloth mother in Alice, when prior he has been clinging to like the scaly, hard scales of this
his Mecha Godzilla mother. Yeah.
His Mecha Godzilla mother.
Okay.
So Aemond has these nightmares of burning his brother Aegon, and I think that the sound is so cool here, because Aemond hears Aegon screaming when Aemond burned Aegon last season, but then the screams of pain turn into laughter, like Tom Glencarny maniacally laughing. And it's so great how Aemond feels guilty for burning his brother, but also feels afraid of like his brother's vengeance or his brother's ghost.
Pulling me down into darkness.
Because Aegon has been declared dead, and as far as Aemond knows, maybe Aegon is dead.
Yeah, Alice says that she doubts that, but Aemond seems to not really either listen or care about that.
He's in a ghost-infested castle.
Yeah. He doesn't know what's real. And like, so he's confusing dream with reality.
So in the same way that Daemon gets these guilty visions of beheading his niece Rhaenyra, Aemond gets these guilty moments of feeling haunted by betraying his brother Aegon. So like, I think that Aemond, maybe next episode, he'll get visions reflecting more on his crimes.
Aemond's terrified of Helena because the last time they spoke, she said, "You will die in the lake that he's currently sleeping next to."
Yeah, I love how Aemond like looks out the balcony and he sees the lake and he's like, "Oh,
it's that one."
Not that one. Like
the lake snuck up on me.
Like he knows it's there, but he's like, "Whoa!"
Everywhere I look, the lake is behind the corner. So he's terrified of everything. Actually, he's a scared little boy who has a lizard mother for a shield, and she's not here at the moment. So he takes this flesh ghost Harrenhal Castle mother instead.
Yeah, the question was like, what is Aemond without Vhagar? And the answer is a scared little boy.
Yeah, which is like what he was before Vhagar, right?
And yeah, and it's so much more powerful because we saw that scared little boy. I keep saying
Season 1.
The strongest thing that this show has is Season 1 1 set such a strong foundation, and all of these characters make so much more sense because of season 1. We saw these kids grow up, and so it makes sense now what they became. Aemond is seeing Aegon burn, and Helena references that later, saying that Aemond is burning but without fire.
Yeah, well, he's currently in turmoil. He's in the chaos of fire, but there is no fire, right?
Yeah.
His soul is burning.
I love the continued physicality of Ewan Mitchell as Aemond. They keep taking off Aemond's shirt. They keep they keep making him naked to show his vulnerability, but also just his physical performance is so amazing. I love Aemond saying, "Oh, I ruined everything."
Yeah,
like it's quite a childlike thing to say. I ruined everything.
Doesn't Sansa say that to Arya?
Yeah.
You're ruining everything.
You're ruining everything.
Yeah, literally is the language of children.
So I think it's so great to see this like childlike vulnerability from Aemond clutching for a mother while his dragon is out committing mass murder, and it just shows the gap and the difference between who Aemond is inside versus the impact that he's having on the world.
There's kitty cats in the Red Keep now.
Yay!
I love this.
I love seeing the Grand Maester having to like that's such typical cat behavior, just walking right in front of someone and someone has to like step around them. No one is so important that a cat won't just walk right in front of them.
Absolutely. Cats humble us all.
They sure do.
So we see that as Orwyle carries an abortificent into the Queen's chambers, a maid notices, and this is how Mazarian knows that that's happening.
You expertly enunciated that sentence. So Orwyle sneaks in to see Alicent and Helena secretly, and he's got plots within plots because he's holding one little vial of something innocuous, but within his deep pockets he has secreted a little pot of moon tea, which is the abortificent that'll end Helena's pregnancy.
Would you drink Orwyle's secretion?
Well, look, that's the question of the day. So anyway, he's bringing it secretly to Helena, so they're hiding the pregnancy from Rhaenyra, and Alicent wants Helena to drink the abortificent to end the pregnancy because a child of Helena and Aegon would be a political threat and would probably be executed or held prisoner for its whole life.
Specifically a boy child of Helena. Alicent says that Orwyle has been a friend to her, and like they invoke, are we being disloyal to Rhaenyra? Orwyle's, wondering how long he can get away with helping Alicent, because Orwyle has done a lot for Alicent over the years. It's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, he brought her moon tea before, and he smuggled her to Dragonstone.
Somehow.
Orwyle has been threatened with beheading twice recently.
In the past couple weeks.
And Rhaenyra said to Orwyle, "You can serve me so long as you're loyal." So
and useful.
So it is a very real threat that Orwyle could be killed for doing this secret thing. So Orwyle is being very brave.
Throughout this episode, throughout this season, we're to equate that caterpillar with Helena's child. Because, it's not the season, toxic butterflies. The caterpillar starts to wither towards the end of this episode. So, that could be telling of what's to come for Helena's child.
Yeah, and it's interesting how Alicent talks about the moon tea as it's something that saved me.
It's deliverance. Yeah. It delivered me from
disgrace and ruin.
Yeah.
And
it's a savior, this tea.
Yeah, and of course there's such an uncomfortable undertone with Alicent saying it would be so terrible to have a child, and she's saying that to her child.
Yes.
And, previously Alicent said that Helena could be redeemed. And I think that, clearly Helena feels like she's unwanted by her mother.
Will you bear a child who will never be more than a hostage or a pawn? She says to her child, who is currently both a hostage and a pawn.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff going on in Alicent's head right now.
The uncomfortable implication is that Alicent is implying that it would be better if Helena was never born.
Yeah.
That's the awful implication. And I think Helena's feeling is, I am glad I exist. I deserve to exist. I deserve to be loved. And so does this child.
For seasons now, you've been sort of complaining that Helena isn't making choices or speaking her mind.
Yeah.
In this scene, finally, Helena sort of screams at her mum, "It's mine.
Yeah.
You can't do this to me. You can't force me to do this because you wanted to do it."
Yeah. Well, it's a fuck you mum moment, like Raina's fuck you dad moment last episode.
Yeah.
I think it's great how these kids get these moments of saying, no, like, I reject the pressure from the parent. I agree that it does feel powerful that Helena gets to make a choice here. Because, yeah, she has had no choice about where she's got to live or where she gets to go or who her spouse is or like her bodily autonomy. She's had no choice of any kind for so long, and now
it feels
she's like
yeah, she's had enough, and it's time for her to decide. Oh, it's so fucking fraught, because if that child is dead, Alicent's right. Rhaenyra has no choice but to either kill it or just like keep it as a hostage for its entire life.
Yeah, I mean, there's a 50% chance that it's a girl who, you know, will probably get married off and live the life of a noble lady, which is probably a better life than the vast majority of people in Westeros.
That is what Alicent says about Jaehaera in this episode. She's like, look, we can leave Jaehaera. She'll probably be okay.
Yeah, but like by Alicent's logic, like Alicent wants to run away with Helena and Jaehaera. The child in Helena won't be born for months. If Alicent's plan goes to plan, then the child can be born in freedom and live in freedom with Alicent, Helena, and Jaehaera, right?
But what if someone finds out that there's another male heir of Aegon Targaryen? So Alicent says that this child would be a hostage or a pawn its entire life. Bleak shit I'm about to say. Trade the child for your own freedom, just like you did previously.
Yeah, it would just be nice if somebody cared about Alicent and Helena. And
although, the show is all about how nobody does.
I know. But well, I think that like the reason why Rhaenyra goes and prays in the Sept this episode is that Rhaenyra is the one person who cares about Alicent.
Yeah, and so, irony time that Alicent has to hide this great problem from Rhaenyra for political reasons, when really, like, all that aside, Rhaenyra would be the most useful person to know about this.
Yeah, Rhaenyra is the most likely person to be sympathetic.
As Alicent says, Rhaenyra took it when she was 18 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's history.
For the same reason that Alicent took it recently, because she fucked Kristen Cole. Also in this scene, Helena says, like, a rather explicit vision to Alicent. She says, I have seen Aemond. He is burning but without fire. And Alicent continues to ignore her.
I think it is comical at this point that Helena keeps saying these accurate predictions and still nobody listens to her. Like, it's crazy that Alicent, after all these years of being with Helena, has never noticed that the things that Helena says turns out to be true.
Well, yeah, she said he'll have to close an eye a week before Aemond had his eye taken out.
Yeah.
To claim a dragon, which is the thing Alicent was talking about at the time.
Yes.
It's because she's not fucking listening. She's never listening. No one's ever listening to Helena. So much of our commentary of this show has been about how Viserys' children and wife and brother are competing for Viserys' love, and Otto as well. In this episode, all 4 of Alicent's children have daddy mummy shit going on. Like, Aegon and Aemond explicitly ruminate on their childhoods, and Helena is the subject of Alicent's projection here. This episode is about cloying for Alicent's love, as well as a few other things.
Yeah.
This episode has a lot going on, actually.
Yeah, this episode is busy.
Yes.
It is busy, busy, busy.
I think this episode plays to House of the Dragon's strengths of weaving a theme through many different plots and characters.
Yeah, well, certainly like a desire for approval from parents is a big part of it. So then we get a walkie-talkie in the halls of the keep.
And then there's a city talkie in the council chamber at the keep.
There's a lot going on.
And then there's a standy talkie at the end of that scene.
A standy talkie.
There's so many different sorts of talkie.
It's hectic. We are bombarded with one issue after another.
Awash with deficiencies and dilemmas.
Yeah. There have been similar scenes prior as well in the Season 3, Episode 3, especially. You really can't keep track of everything that's said the first time you watch the scene, because there's multiple things happening at once, and there's multiple conversations happening at once at the small council table.
And then there are like little physical interactions, the way people look at each other. There's just so much going on.
Yeah, no, they're well constructed. They definitely make you feel Rhaenyra's anxiety.
Yeah, and she just tries to cut through the bullshit. Like, Daemon and Mysaria are bickering about how to govern the city, and Rhaenyra's like, where is the big lizard? Someone tell me where the lizard is.
Yeah, I think that, like, Rhaenyra's making mistakes. Mistakes like Luther's overly brutal crackdown on the commoners and mistakes like neglecting Ulf and not building closer relationships and pissing off Sabbath of Frey.
And, well, there's distance forming between her and Baela and her and Mysaria, and Alicent is doing stuff without her knowledge. Like, things are just going on, and Rhaenyra can't keep her thumb on all of them.
Yeah, she's kind of like losing control and making mistakes, and we can see why it's happening. It's happening because it is impossible to pay attention to everything at once. And like Daemon's argument is, well, you shouldn't care about most of this shit. You should just wield your strength and your force and your dragons and burn your enemies, and then you won't have to care what anyone thinks. And obviously that is evil to be killing thousands of people unnecessarily, but you can see the expedience in it. You can see how if Rhaenyra was more... If she didn't care what people think so much, then maybe she'd be able to get better results. But of course, the whole problem that Rhaenyra has is that what people think of her determines if she keeps the throne. And people are biased against her because she's a woman. The whole reason she is fighting this war is because people think better of a man than of Rhaenyra. So, like, there's this really complicated thing of balancing people's perceptions versus getting results and tangible things and feeding the hungry and burning the baddies,
Yeah, I was going to say all of that, yeah. Daemon looks at this Frey lady and thinks, why the hell is she here?
Why don't we just threaten them with my dragon? That's never backfired.
Yeah. Yeah, that never backfired with the Brackens, yeah.
And I love how Rhaenyra is being pursued through this hallway by Lady Frey. She's being hunted. Chased. She's being hounded by these annoying people. And then, Frey goes a little bit too far, and Rhaenyra just looks at her, just stunned with this woman's audacity, demanding things of the queen, and then she kind of backs off and gets stared down by Adrian Redfort, too.
I accept your meager payment of letting me part of the government.
Yeah, which is funny, should we be handing out positions of power as, a reward or, a token? Does Lady Frey have qualifications or anything to bring to the table? The literal table.
Torrhen Manderley is here as a scapegoat because Rhaenyra was pissed off by him one time.
So then we find out that a village near Wendish Town was burned by Vhagar.
Not Wendish Town!
Not Wendish Town!
But they don't know that it's not Aemond. They think that it's Aemond.
Yeah, well, that's the fun thing, is that Rhaenyra sends Baela and Adam to find out what is Aemond's purpose.
He must be scheming something, and it's just a hungry lizard.
What elaborate plot has Aemond concocted that involves Wendish Town? When the answer is, Vhagar had a rumble in her tummy and wanted some sheep. It's interesting that Torrhen Manderley, of all people, explains Flea Bottom to Lady Frey, and he says Flea Bottom is ungovernable, full of undesirables. And I love the look that Mysaria sends out, because she is one of those undesirables.
Yes.
She is one of those people who lived in Flea Bottom.
As much as
down upon.
Alice is the spirit of Harrenhal, Mysaria is the spirit of Flea Bottom, right?
Yeah.
And she's trying to represent herself.
Yeah, I love that.
Mysaria is so much fun in this episode. The way she, when she's talking with Alicent later, the way she says high tower, there's black sludge oozing out her mouth, it's a cursed thing to say at all. And this look she gives to Torrhen Manderley, she's just so much fun, and she's so full of hate for these noble bastards.
Yeah, I think that Mysaria should hate the Hightowers because they're rich nobles who don't care about the poor. But exactly the same could be said of every Targaryen.
Well, yes, and I think she knows that, and the reason she latched onto Rhaenyra is that Rhaenyra, for no other reason than personal compassion, freed Mysaria.
Yeah, and I think that all of these sort of contradictions, there are lots of reasons for Mysaria to not trust the Targaryens any more than she trusts the Hightowers, and I think that's why Mysaria has that scene with Alicent where she kind of agrees to keep Alicent's secrets. So I think all of that makes sense. I think I agree. Mysaria is good this episode.
Alicent understands what Mysaria is,
yeah,
because Alicent herself is cloying for her own freedom.
Yeah, and just as Mysaria has been sexually exploited for most of her life, Alicent has been sexually exploited for much of her life.
The indignities we women suffer.
Yeah. One of the things about Helena is that, Alicent says, I took moon tea. Rhaenyra took moon tea. We've all done it.
Everyone's done it. It's great. Everyone should have a go. Yeah.
Yeah. But what...
It's not great, by the way. It's awful.
Rhaenyra had the moon tea because she chose to have sex with Kristen Cole. Alicent had the moon tea because she chose to have sex with Kristen Cole.
Yeah.
Helena, did she choose to have sex with Aegon? Like, in season 1, Helena said, oh, Aegon leaves me alone except for when he's drunk. Like, it doesn't sound as though Helena wanted to have sex or wanted to have children.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one of the sort of, like, extra indignities and injustices of all of this, is that, like, Rhaenyra and Alicent drank moon tea and had abortions as a result of their own choices, their decision to have sex. Whereas, we don't know if Helena got to choose that in the first place. I think that Alicent might force the issue or might get put the abortifacient in Helena's drink or food or something, or she might put the fucking poisonous caterpillars to induce abortion.
What the fuck?
Yeah, look,
I mean, true though.
Look, I'll tell you one thing. Someone's gonna get poisoned by a caterpillar in this season, because why the fuck else did they bring up the poisonous caterpillars?
Because it's a really funny thing to say about George R. R. Martin's Toxic Butterflies blog post.
Dude, there are 2 Chekhov's guns that are screaming to go off. Number 1 is Baela's crossbow, which is prominently visible in this episode again and still has not been fired at anything other than a wooden post. And 2 is the poison caterpillars. I want to see someone get poisoned by a wriggly little caterpillar,
I don't know
I'm
if it's
canceling my HBO subscription.
Look, you've decided that that's a Chekhov's gun. I think it's a metaphor. I don't think it has to be a narrative mechanic.
I think that themes and metaphors are for the weak, and I want to see a caterpillar murder someone.
I mean, that's awesome for you, and I agree that Baela needs to use that, or someone needs to use that crossbow. As you said, this episode is a tension-building episode, but so was the last one, and I think that might be a little strung out. Rhaenyra specifically has been building tension the entire fucking show. And sure, she did the thing. She killed Otto Hightower, she took the throne, awesome. That's a bit of tension release, but then the tension starts building even faster now that she's queen. At some point, an even bigger resolution does have to eventuate, yeah?
There's no time for any of this.
I think they've got time.
There's 3 episodes left in this season.
Have you seen how many things are happening per episode?
Yeah. Well, it's not battles. Like they're doing... Lots of things are happening, but not the battles.
Well, yeah. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, and, I think they're integrating things really well because Kristen's march through the Riverlands accounts for a lot of things.
Yeah.
We did the Red Fork and the Fish Feed, and they were both unique, gave us different experiences as viewers.
Well, we didn't do them, we were told about them. That's one of the weaknesses of this episode, in my opinion, is that we get a lot of being told that things are happening without seeing the things happening. Wendish Town, we don't see it happen.
We see Kristen haranguing Oscar's army. We do see a lot of things, and the things that we don't see, what would we actually benefit from seeing Vhagar eating some people at Wendish Town?
Well, yeah, I think it is kind of fun and interesting that we don't see Vhagar, because it makes Vhagar an unseen threat. We feel...
And I think that, rogue nuclear bomb on the loose, that's a really fun unseen threat. A spider on the wall disappears behind a painting. You're like, fuck, where did that thing go? When am I going to see it next?
Yeah,
it's going to come up at the worst possible time and burn me to death. I don't like that it's here, but at least can I know where it is? Speaking of spiders, there's one very, very beautiful shot of Kristen and Gwen marching through the Riverlands where you see an orb weaver's web in the foreground before it does the change of focus to the background. It was really lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this show is beautiful.
So Rhaenyra says, I will send Daemon to investigate Vhagar, and then Daemon says, no, Queen Rhaenyra, I will in fact stay and deal with the gold cloaks.
It's my turn to be a detective.
So Rhaenyra complains that Daemon is once again disobeying her.
Look, I'm gonna do it, but just later.
Anyway, yeah, it's very funny the childish way that he says that.
He's so funny. Damon's so fucking funny. Joffrey Velaryon is back from the Vale this episode. That's what Alinda Massey comes in to talk to Rhaenyra about.
Yeah.
And she says, Your Grace, fabulous news. Your son's finally returned. And Rhaenyra's reaction is, okay.
Yeah. Well, Rhaenyra goes and prays. Rhaenyra goes to church and prays instead of going to see her son.
Well, yeah, she's hoping that will make the faith happy with her so she can finally get her anointing.
Well, it's just interesting because, Rhaenyra, almost fearfully like peers around the door and looks at
Yeah.
Joffrey, and it reminds me of the scene where Alicent is looking in on Aegon's
Yes.
sickbed. And it's interesting because Alicent was always estranged from her children, but Rhaenyra used to be close with her children.
Yeah, but now she's becoming someone who she doesn't want her children to see.
well,
That's what
yeah.
Alicent says. You will do things that you would never think possible. You will change. It's a weight that crushes.
Well, Rhaenyra's turning into Alicent, perhaps. Like, Rhaenyra is having to do the same compromises and moral trickiness that Alicent had to do, and she's feeling less connected to her children like Alicent's less connected, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, like the old Rhaenyra, if she was told your son is back, she would be like, oh my god, my son is back, I need to go hug him right now. And we know how big this is for Joffrey, because the one thing we know about Joffrey Velaryon is that he wants mummy.
Yeah.
Just like Aemond.
Yeah.
So for Rhaenyra's reaction to be, okay, I guess I'll try and look in on him later, I guess. I mean, exactly the same as Daemon saying, I'll do that later, I guess, once I'm done doing this more important thing that I actually care about. And then she comes in, and there's still no emotion on her face when she does peer in on Joffrey. Anyway, Adam says we shouldn't go outside until Baela's had lunch and a little kip.
We've already established that it's dangerous to fly dragons. It's got to be more dangerous when you're sleep deprived.
And hungry.
Baela feels like she's being mollycoddled, and she insists that she is ready to fly. And
Mollycoddled. Is that from the Scrabble dictionary too?
People know that word. She doesn't want to be mothered and smothered and not allowed to do things. She doesn't want to be treated with kid gloves. She wants to go out and do cool shit with her crossbow and her dragon.
Yeah, I'm so cool. I might do something at some point. Maybe. And it is interesting that they can't talk to each other. Rhaenyra is not talking to Baela directly at all. She can't.
Adam is protective of his little cousin Baela.
It would have been nice to see this relationship begin, because I feel like we've been dropped in halfway through its development.
Yeah, they're kind of like, oh yeah, they're friends now.
Yeah.
They became friends off screen. How does Laris not know which way is west?
There is no fucking way Larys Strong doesn't know which way the sun sets. Especially, he says it's past the nightingale, which means that it's sunset. The sun will set soon.
Yeah.
West is where the sun is.
That's nonsense.
I think Larys is bullshitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Larys is lying to Aegon to make him go back to Rook's Rest.
Yeah.
I do believe that Aegon doesn't know where West is. I do believe that Aegon has not put together that West is where the sun goes.
Yeah, that tracks.
Tom Glencarny rather convincingly rolls Aegon's ankle. Like, I saw that and I got, ooh, oh dear. Especially because I broke my left foot last year. Aemond is a coiled viper. Oh, Tyland's a peacock, Larys is a toad, Aegon's a viper. It's just so much fun. Helena's a caterpillar. So Larys goes back to the script telling Aegon, oh, you're weak and useless and we're so far away. Let's just go back and do my plan. And Aegon cracks the shits, chucks a wobbly, and yells, stop telling me what I can't do, with much added reverb to really emphasize what he means.
So it's just like when Helena yells at Alicent, Aegon is yelling at his parent figure, Larys.
It's my belly. I really love it. You do feel his frustration is real. Like, we saw the way that Aegon was treated by Viserys, by Alicent when he was younger.
Yeah.
And we see the way that people honor Aemond's usefulness a lot more than Aegon. And to be fair, Aemond is a lot more useful than Aegon, but why is that?
Yeah.
But also, Larys is completely correct. Aegon was a terrible king, and he is a terrible man.
But I love how in this scene, you can see on Larys's face that he wants to tell Aegon that he's an idiot and it's his own fault. But he sighs and he composes himself and he swallows what he wants to say until the later scene.
Yeah, it's only later when Aegon explicitly talks about his upbringing that Larys is like, who the fuck do you think you are? What are you doing?
I love how human Larys is here.
Yeah, it's like such a usually inhuman character becomes very human this episode.
He drops all his pretenses and he's just this tired dude walking with this petulant child through the woods to no avail.
Just look where we are, look what we're doing. What's in front of us? What can I do to change it? I have to tell this guy that he's being an absolute dickhead.
Yeah.
And I love that Aegon, usually it's sort of like how Daemon responds to Rhaena these days, how he responds to Mysaria telling him not everything's about him. Like, he's changed. Aegon has changed, because can you imagine someone saying that sort of thing to Aegon last year?
Yeah,
He would have exploded.
Yeah.
Whereas here, Laris says, you're a terrible man, you suck, and it's mostly your fault. Aegon, like, he's angry, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't yell, he doesn't shout, he doesn't rebel. They do go back to Rook's Rest.
Yeah, maybe in some tiny way he does listen and reflect a little bit.
Yeah, and I really like that.
So Mysaria comes and says, hey, Alicent, I know that you've been getting secret visitors and gifts. Show me what it is. Why doesn't Alicent show Mysaria the other vial that Allwild brought? The decoy vial.
Did he leave it there?
Maybe he didn't. He should have left it behind, because then Alicent could have said, oh, it's just this innocuous thing.
Yeah, anyway, on with our days, yeah.
And it's really funny how Alicent says, what do you want? Get to the point. And Mysaria just continues her monologue.
Yeah. Like, hang on, I was practicing this one in my head. You're gonna let me say it.
I think Mysaria gets some joy out of getting to lecture Queen Alicent Hightower.
Oh, yeah.
Alicent is now... Mysaria now has power over the queen from the family that tormented her.
It must be said, 23 episodes of this show, and we're finally getting a meeting between these two main characters, Alicent and Mysaria, like these two representations of women striving for power, striving for freedom, and ultimately just vying for Rhaenyra's favor.
Yeah.
Alicent even invokes that in this scene. How long will you remain Rhaenyra's favorite? And we just saw in that previous scene, Rhaenyra brushing Mysaria aside to talk to Daemon. Alicent really knows how to play off Mysaria. It's fun. Alicent says, so this is my moon tea. I'm taking it because I took a lover after Viserys died. Don't worry, Rhaenyra knows about it, so it's fine.
So it actually is not a bad cover for Alicent to say, no, I'm just pregnant from my lover, so I needed the moon tea. That actually is a decent cover.
And then Mysaria does put it together. She says a lord or a commoner, or perhaps both. And who could that be other than Kristen Cole, right? And then she performatively drinks the moon tea in front of Mysaria to convince... Like, no, it's my weed, not my daughter's. Let me smoke it in front of you. Not to compare those two things, obviously. This stuff, even if you're not pregnant, is destructive. It annihilates your insides. So Alicent's putting herself through so much bodily harm just to try and convince Mysaria, and it doesn't even work.
Yeah, Mysaria
Like,
is not
pointless.
having a bar of this.
And then she later finds out that Helene is pregnant anyway.
Yeah, so...
What was it all for?
Yeah. It's really funny when Alicent is like... She's trying to appeal to Mysaria as a woman. Like, you and me, sister, like, we're both in this as women. We've both suffered. This is a queen talking to a sex worker from the gutters.
A former slave.
Yeah. Like,
Whose father abused her.
and like, yes, they have a lot in common, but like, Alicent has had so much more privilege and freedom and opportunity and options and power and luxury than Mysaria has ever had.
And yet, their bodies are both subject to politics.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why this is such a powerful duo of characters, because they have such deep similarities and such deep dissimilarities.
Vast differences. What binds them is their experience as women.
Mm.
And a similarity that Alicent plays with here is, I'm her prisoner now, you were her prisoner then.
Mm.
And that works for Mysaria, I think. Look away, horse fans, because it's this scene.
Mm. So Kristen is a horse.
And then all of a sudden, he's not a horse. He's a horsend.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Rivermen army is ahead of them and have scattered these caltrops, these massive spiked things across the woods that get into the horses' shoes and feet, and it sucks for them. Horses
sucks.
dislike it when you do that.
This is the result of Oscar Tully deciding that they'll
Yeah.
do guerrilla tactics against Gwaine and Kristen.
But before that happens, Gwaine tells Kristen a story about how he and Aemond, growing up kids in the High Tower, they played their little games, and Gwaine would let Aemond win because he's a thin-skinned twat. And this plays into that scene with Darren later on when they're playing cyvasse, and Darren accidentally forgets to let Aemond win, and he's very afraid of Aemond throwing another tantrum, but he doesn't.
I like the reminder that, you know, Gawain and Aemond were children and like they had their grievances and dynamics. And
fucking every main character's childhood is invoked in this episode. Like Alicent brings up Rhaenyra's childhood and her own childhood, and Aegon and Aemond obviously reminisce about their childhood. Helena, like her what's forced upon her was brought into question. We're watching Darren's childhood right now, and it appears to suck. It's all about childhood.
So Gawain tries to convince Kristen, hey, let's not march to our deaths. Let's go and go to the high tower and hang out and live. And it's cool because you get a really scenic view from the top of the old tower, the high tower. Don't you want to see the scenic view, Kristen? And it's so the wrong pitch for Kristen Cole. This episode's kind of about like all the different ways we can try to defy the constraints of our parents or our commanders. Like all the different acts of rebellion that we can do to try and tell ourselves we're free.
Kristen's form of raging against the dying of the light is to die. With Gawain heading off to Tumbleton at the end of this episode, this little story does make me very excited to see him interact with Aemond in coming episodes.
Yeah, they're really setting some groundwork for Gawain and Aemond. And both of them can be interesting windows into Alicent and Otto and Darren. So.
I hope that any interactions between Gawain and Aemond will sort of be framed as a battle for Darren's heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the same way that like Daemon and Mysaria are the angel and the devil on Rhaenyra's shoulders, I think that Gawain and Aemond will be the angel and the devil on Darren's shoulders.
I think the show has done such a good job of setting Gawain up as the angel.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. I think the sense we get from Kristen, like, we never got that sense of, like, pretty boy, glorious, chivalric knight early on. Like, Kristen was always more just sort of, like, the underdog, strong, tough fighter kind of guy.
When he's introduced, he's, like, a extraordinary, like, comically handsome guy who beats the shit out of Daemon Targaryen.
Yeah.
And then in the second episode, he's handsome knight appointed to the Kingsguard, like he's on the up and up, he's on top of the world. And then in the third episode, he's like, want me to kill that guy? Like, so we're already getting a look into his underhanded nature.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that Kristen has kind of always been a brute.
Yeah.
And so I think
in the fifth episode, he murders a guy for looking at him wrong, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, like, there was a way to tell his story that this, like, descent into brutality was maybe slower, because I think that Kristen, as he is in the show, he's kind of always been a murderous brute, and so his brutality here is not as transformative or as much of a change, because he's kind of always just been this murder bot since season 1 episode 5.
And that, like, to be sure, was a result of Rhaenyra telling him your life is over because I say so. But yeah, it would have been nicer to have a more casual, like, slow descent into this.
We get a little micro scene of Alicent looking at a handmaid and taking off her necklace, planning to give the necklace to the handmaid to get the handmaid to help her escape.
Yeah, she's sort of trading her faith for a chance at freedom, no?
Yeah, giving up the last scraps of her moral high ground for the sake of a chance at freedom.
Yeah. I also like in this scene, we can see Alicent, like, holding a blanket to her stomach because, you know, she drank the moon tea in the previous scene. She's going through it. As we see shortly, Rhaenyra is, like, looking to faith for strength and legitimacy, just as Alicent is trading in her faith for a shot at freedom.
So then Prince Daemon talks to Commander Luther Largent, captain of the Gold Cloaks, and Daemon says that Luther was too harsh when he went out and killed common people.
I was only doing what I assumed the Queen meant.
Yeah, well, I mean, Luther says, well, I learned from you, Daemon, and we saw in season 1 episode 1 that Daemon was extremely brutal and he killed lots of random innocent people, or people who may or may not have been innocent, and so Luther's just doing what Daemon taught him to do.
Yeah, Rhaenyra is reaping what Daemon sowed, and that's sort of what Alicent and Mysaria talk about as well in this episode, is that Rhaenyra and Daemon are two sides of one coin, and Rhaenyra chose to walk this path with Daemon, so this is what that looks like.
This is the guy Rhaenyra chose to marry. And like people have been saying since season 1, episode 1, that this is why we must keep Daemon away from the throne.
His
he will
name
pull shit like this.
is Demon. Think about it, Rhaenyra.
So Daemon says you shouldn't actually do exactly what Rhaenyra says. You should like do what you think is right.
Yeah, temper her.
So like Daemon's being very patronizing, saying you shouldn't follow through on every one of her whims, you know.
Yeah.
It's not orders to be obeyed. It's just, her womanly feelings, and you mustn't actually go with it. Of course, you know, Daemon does so much violence based on impulsive emotional whims. I wonder if Luther ever tempered Daemon.
Does Luther ever temper himself?
The gold cloaks who have been murdered have their throats cut and also their bowels cut, so they die slowly in agony in their own shit.
I do love that their conversation is interrupted by a guy shouting, "Murder!
Bloody murder!"
It's just fantastic. I love it when that happens in shows.
It is fantastic.
Daemon says, "I'll give a rousing speech to the men and everything will be fine." Daemon's view of politics is, I will show up and make myself known, I will assert my own authority, and then everything will be cool.
I'm really cool, so if people see me talking, they're gonna do what I say.
Don't worry, I'll tell them about my plan to conquer China, and everyone's gonna love it.
That's the level of like political thought that Daemon puts into things.
And you know, credit to Lord Fleabottom, he's right. They lap it up. Anyway, it's murder time, and someone has spilt sausages all over these two guys while they were having a nap.
It's a strange look because these men have had their bowels cut and their entrails pulled out and then put on top of them, but they're still wearing their armor.
Still wearing armor.
So my question is, were they like undressed and then disemboweled and then their armor put back on and then their entrails put on top of their armor? Is that what happened? But this is messy work. Like, how long was the murderer crouched here in an alleyway in broad daylight? I think that we've got to suspect something supernatural here. Like, I think these guys, like a werewolf, like a caterpillar,
yeah.
like a
barn owl.
A barn owl.
Yeah.
Because, like seriously, like, how else could someone have pulled the entrails out of both these men in broad daylight
And gotten away.
I don't know. It's very puzzling stuff. And it's meant to be puzzling because, like, the later murder with the elaborate Last Supper diorama.
That's clearly like so elaborate as to invite question. Yeah?
And that happened like in the Gold Cloak headquarters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the simplest answer is it's gold cloaks who are doing this.
True.
Like, there are gold cloaks who are loyal to Aemond, not to Daemon, because Aemond's been paying them with gold.
Yeah, Darren bucks.
They are the gold cloaks. Maybe they turn their cloaks for gold.
Whoa, that's crazy. You mean like the thing that happens several times?
Repeatedly over hundreds of years of history?
You mean like the one consistent thing about Westerosi politics?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Aemond wants Darren to be king from Old Town.
Why wouldn't? Like, it's the High Tower.
Mm.
That should be where the king lives, no?
Mm.
So Daemon and Luther see two gold cloaks have been murdered, and a little girl sees the murders, and she reports to a man who reports to Aemond. So there's this spy network working for Aemond, and Aemond needs that network to know when the murders have occurred. Isn't it a little bit odd that they need, like, the girl to see the murders instead of, say, the murderer? Why doesn't the murderer report to Aemond that the murders have occurred? Like,
right, so maybe it isn't actually Aemond who's doing the murders.
Well, he clearly is not in direct contact with the murderers.
Yeah,
right.
So, but he has an eye on the murders happening.
Yeah, wouldn't
but
it be
not the murderers?
Like why can't the murderer just report the murders? Like, I mean, I guess maybe you want like independent verification, but like I think the point is that this supports the idea that the murders are some supernatural force that you can't like communicate with as directly, because like why would the murderer not just tell Aemond, yo, I killed some people? Like it seems as though Aemond is not necessarily in control of when or how the murders happen. He needs his spies to keep track of it for him. You know what I mean? It's just weird.
I do, and I like what you're thinking, but I also have this niggling thought in the back of my mind that we are just trying to come up with fun answers to what might be a really boring plot point. No, there's so many signs pointing to it being supernatural, pointing it to being faceless men, because, you know, the guy said he never saw the guy's face in that last scene. Sorry, I'm being super specific here.
Kristen talks about the stranger at the same time that we see the murdered Luther on screen.
Rhaenyra says many working as one, invoking the many-faced god.
The story of this episode is that Rhaenyra is feeling paranoid, and she's imagining supernatural gods and spirits as her allies and enemies. Like, she's becoming a bit detached from reality and a bit paranoid, whereas Daemon is just saying, let's be pragmatic and let's not imagine evil spirits.
Yeah, there are men behind this. Let's find the men and stop it from happening.
And so, like, it's about, like, a fear of the supernatural versus a pragmatism. So it might turn out that it was just men all along, and they were just being paranoid.
I would be truly shocked if, after all of those things we just mentioned, the show does turn out to just be pulling our leg, and it's a couple of guys that Aemond sent to do this extraordinarily elaborate murder scene.
But yeah, I think that they will reveal that it's Faceless Man.
I do love seeing these, like, just rando chain of information people. It's just fun. Like, it reminds you that the world is bigger than the main characters we're looking at all the time.
I agree, and it's interesting. Although I also find it, like, kind of comical how Laris had this extensive network of spies. No, well, Mazaria had this extensive network of spies, which was then replaced by Laris's extensive network of spies, which has now apparently been replaced by, or now there also is, Aemond's extensive network of spies, which, I mean, when did Aemond set this up? Like, I assume it takes, like, months or years to develop an extensive network of loyal spies.
Well, hold on. This is Otto's network of spies, is it not?
So has Aemond taken control of Otto's network of spies?
Perhaps.
But Otto's network of spies was Mazaria's network of spies.
Well, no. Otto said that he had many different ways of acquiring information, and Mazaria was just one of them. I like this guy's outfit. He looks almost like a maester, but he's not.
I like the old guy's beanie.
I mean, he throws a bird. Maybe he is a bit trained in some of the maester.
I'm actually super stoked that they show that pigeons can be used for messengers, not just ravens. I wonder what Aemond thinks of Alicent. I mean...
Yeah, we heard Alicent tell us what Gwaine thought of Aemond, but we didn't really get what Alicent thought of Aemond or what Aemond thought of Alicent.
Yeah, I mean, she said that she didn't really know Aemond, but... I mean, I think that, something we know about Aemond is that he generally dismisses women. He's sexist. And so maybe Aemond just doesn't have much regard or interest in Alicent at all.
Although it is interesting, she is the queen.
Yeah.
She is of his family.
Yeah, why would Aemond not try to work with her and use her influence? Yeah. I reckon he assumes that she just has none and is useless. So Aemond talks about Meria Martell, who was a princess of Dawn who successfully resisted Aegon Targaryen the Conqueror. And so Aemond says that they can use her example and that they will resist Rhaenyra Targaryen through cunning and sneaky, brutal tricks, as Meria did.
I think that's interesting because in the previous episode, Aemond was like, oh, Targaryens, there's nothing intelligent about you lot, but you have cunning.
Yeah.
Like, he was dismissive of the concept of being cunning.
Yeah.
Only last week.
And now he's explicitly saying we'll be cunning. It's interesting to me, like, who exactly is Aemond talking about when he says our civilization is superior?
Yeah, is he talking about Andals generally, or High Towers specifically?
Or Westerosi generally?
James Norton is so good.
Yeah, he's great.
In fact, both of these actors are really impressive to me. Yeah. I love how much emotion we're getting from Benjamin Evan Ainsworth as Daemon from so few words. It really puts faith in the decision to cast him as Link. Because Link, I mean, if it's anything like the games, he's not going to be talking at all.
Link, the most emotionally expressive of all the video game characters.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree. Darren and Aemond are both great performers with such strong personality and such a strong relationship.
Yeah, I'm just so excited to see either of them on screen.
Yeah, they're absolutely killing it.
They play a game of cyvasse while talking about historical military strategy.
Yeah.
And like, the subtext there is how Aemond is going to navigate his current military strategy with the additional subtext of how he's raising Daemon. It's just great.
It feels like a scene from the books.
It does.
It feels like a scene from A Song of Ice and Fire.
Tying in with what Gwaine told us earlier, Daemon forgets to let Aemond win the game. Yeah. And Aemond is a crybaby. He's a sore loser. And you can see him like holding back his rage here. But I think beating Aemond in cyvasse
shows that Daemon is cunning.
Yeah.
Like, Aemond is banging on about being cunning, but Daemon is evidently more cunning than Aemond is.
Yeah, which, ironic considering that Aemond thinks Daemon is a savage beast, or at least half. on his father's side. In this scene, Aemond says what the Targaryens have is strength. But what are we seeing in this episode from the other Targaryens? Rhaenyra is refusing to use strength to solve her problems, right?
Yeah.
She's trying to be cunning. She's an investigator. She played detective all of last episode and this episode, right?
Yeah.
And she's trying to get Daemon to do the same thing, whereas Daemon's like, no, I just want to use my strength and it'll be so much easier. So yeah, Aemond's wrong. But maybe he's right. Maybe the Targaryens do only have strength, and Rhaenyra's attempt to use cunning is, misled.
I mean, Aemond is right that the reason why the Targaryens have ruled this realm for 130 years is because they have overwhelming dragon power.
Oh yeah, Ormond's preparing Tumbleton for a siege. At the start of this scene, he talks to John Roxon about, assembling battlements.
Yeah, well, I mean, battlements are useless against dragons. So Aemond seems to know or assume that Rhaenyra and her dragons won't attack Tumbleton.
Well, yeah, I think that's a bit of a gambit based on Rhaenyra's personality.
Yeah. It'd be nice to get a little bit more insight of what Aemond thinks he knows about Rhaenyra.
Yeah, because so far it's been in general about Targaryens, and all he said about Rhaenyra is, she's a bitch queen with a dragon.
Yeah. Aemond must understand that Rhaenyra cares about protecting the people, or else he wouldn't bother to hold hostages.
This Tumbleton plot would make absolutely no sense if he didn't think that.
So it'd be kind of nice to see him express that.
Yeah. In episode 3, Rhaenyra tried to talk to the fake Daemon.
Yeah.
And all she did was I'm your half-sister and also your queen. You need to bow down to me and everything. But I feel like if Rhaenyra actually did speak to the real Daemon, they might actually be able to get along. Daemon he's a good kid.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's the tragedy, again, that Rhaenyra has not met or talked to any of her siblings on screen. I agree. Daemon and Rhaenyra, I think, would have a lot in common. And, Alicent was talking about how, it's good that Daemon didn't grow up with me, his mother, because I'm a bad influence. It's good that he's with Aemond. And now we see that, it's not good that he's with Aemond because Aemond is a bad influence. And it's the sort of unsaid thing here is, what if Daemon grew up with Rhaenyra? They would have been great. What if Rhaenyra was there to be a good influence on Daemon and on Aegon and Aemond and Helena?
Here's a huge thing, right? Is that all of Viserys' other children than Rhaenyra have huge holes in their upbringing, they have huge holes in their hearts.
Yeah.
What if Viserys paid attention to any of his other children? I think that's the that's the dragon in the room. That's the giant Valyrian and Ogrion in the room. Not that Viserys was a good man, but at least having your father's love helps. It's really interesting, the sort of reverence. I mean, not reverence. He speaks of Maria Martell as an ugly, fat, unimpressive person other than her military acumen. But it's interesting that he can appreciate, because she was a Dornish princess, and as Lord Hightower, he has every political reason to be dismissive of her. Yeah.
Well, that's explicit. He's explicitly Maria was the only woman who could be good at war. He uses the woman who's good at war to try and justify his misogyny.
Yeah, the exception.
Well, yes, there's one woman who's good at war, but she's the only one. So Helena is talking about caterpillars with her daughter Jaehaera. It's very cute.
It's very cute.
I like how Alicent comes and says, "I need you, Helena," and Helena just completely ignores her mother and keeps on talking about caterpillars.
Well, you recall in season 1, episode 6, when Helena was trying to tell Alicent some cool millipede facts, and Alicent was like, "I do not care about this whatsoever." In this scene, Helena's trying to tell her daughter about caterpillar facts, and Alicent still is like, "This is unimportant. I'm ending this."
Which is why it would be so fun and ironic if the poisonous caterpillar becomes an important plot point. If Alicent's like, turns out Helena's bug facts were very important and useful after all.
If only I'd listened to my daughter. And that's just very, very true, because Helena's been saying important, true things this entire time.
Yeah. I love Helena continuing to call her murdered kid Jaehaerys my boy instead of Prince Jaehaerys. Because that was the scene she said to Alicent, no, he's not a prince, he's my kid. That's what matters. He's a person.
Well, the first thing she said after they killed him was, they got the boy. Or no, it's they killed the boy. Let the man be born, Helena.
So Alicent outlines the plan. It's like Ocean's 11. It's like a heist where the exposition of the heist.
So that we can see everything that goes wrong later on.
Yeah.
The one thing she forgot to think of, the spy master.
Yeah. Yeah, how does that not occur to us?
Oh no, I forgot that there was someone who would be watching us.
Yeah, it's really funny to me that Alicent and Helena's plan again seems to be to walk out of King's Landing. They tried that like 2 episodes ago and it failed.
Well, that's because there was a dragon invasion happening, and like the city watch was keeping people in the city.
It just seems like they're trying a very similar thing again.
Yes, I am a little frustrated that Alicent keeps doing the same thing, but in like progressively stupider ways.
Yeah, in season 2, episode 8, she secretly traveled to Dragonstone. In season 3, episode 2, she tried to secretly walk out of King's Landing. Now, in season 3, episode 5, she tries to secretly walk out of the Red Keep. Like, it's the same shit. And not once has Alicent asked Helena, hey, why don't we fly your dragon away to freedom?
It should be difficult for them to get out of King's Landing.
Yeah, well, this is how I've felt since the start of this season. Alicent's plotline just feels contrived and not going anywhere.
I like all the personality, all the feeling, all the themes, all the interactions, but yeah, it's not doing anything.
It feels stagnant and unbelievable.
Alicent cannot believe that Helena is not as willing to get rid of her children as she is.
Helena's refusal to abandon Jaehaera or to end her pregnancy contrasts with Alicent's willingness to abandon Aegon and Aemond and Daemon, and her willingness to take Moon Tea.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, Alicent is striving for her own freedom, right? And she wants to save Helena as well because she feels responsible for Helena's restricted life. And I think it's frustrating for Alicent that Helena doesn't see things that way. I like that they disagree on that because of, you know, their lived experiences.
Yeah, I agree. And it's an interesting failure of empathy that, like, Alicent is acting out of a desire to free Helena, but she doesn't respect or appreciate Helena's desire to free and protect her daughter Jaehaera.
Well, yeah, what's the most free thing Helena can do? Choose unto herself where she wants to be. And Helena wants to be here with her daughter and her unborn child.
Because everything Alicent says about, like, Jaehaera will be fine staying here also applies to Helena.
Yes,
like,
and sort of to Alicent as well.
Yeah. So, like, I think Alicent implicitly, like, she does not accept that staying in the Red Keep is going to be pleasant, and so that makes her hypocrisy with leaving Jaehaera behind more evident. and Rhaenyra will not harm her. Alicent can't believe what she's saying. She's not gonna hurt her. Even as she's saying it, she isn't convinced by it.
And Helena beautifully calls her out on her bullshit, saying you look away when you lie, which is just like devastating. Fuck you, mum.
Yeah.
And also it ramps up Helena's trend of actually saying things that mean stuff.
Yeah.
Of actually impacting her relationships with other characters, which is lovely to see after 2.5 entire seasons of her doing the exact opposite of that.
Alicent is being a liar here, and Alicent has been a liar in many different ways for a very long time, whereas Helena has always told the truth.
Helena's an innocent, and Rhaenyra told us that in season 2, episode 2.
It's almost like Helena is being the mother. She's being the responsible, honest one who's like, no, I got to stay and look after my kid. Whereas Alicent is behaving like the irresponsible one, the teenager who wants to run away and leave her responsibilities. Alicent has become Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
Teenage Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
And Rhaenyra has become Alicent. Queen Alicent. It's very fun.
Queen Alicent struggling with like the responsibilities of rulership, impining on her personality.
This season is Freaky Friday.
Yeah. I wish I could be like you for just one season.
Yeah.
I really like that Baela's like, oh, maybe Aemond ran off to Casterly Rock to hang out with the Lannisters because the Lannisters are his allies.
Or just in the caves of the Westerlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how Baela is being smart here.
Clinton Liberty has such natural charisma. It's sort of like unbelievable.
Yeah. I think unfortunately like most of Adam's scenes hide Clinton Liberty's charisma. Like he's not got a lot going on in a lot of his scenes. And I'm really looking forward to him actually being a bit more present and active and passionate.
Yeah, it feels like every Velaryon in this show, and I'm including Daemon's daughters, Baela and Rhaena here, has been like reserved to the point of frustration throughout pretty much the entire show.
Yeah.
And we're just waiting for an explosion.
Well, this is the most like emotional characterization we've had of Baela all show.
Yeah.
When she's talking about, you know, desiring to make a mark and to prove herself, and she wanted to be queen and now she's lost that path.
And I really love that she's finally like saying words about herself.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's just a little bit disappointing that it's taken like a season and a half of her being a character for that to happen.
Well overdue. It's
basically
overdue.
2 entire seasons of Baela Targaryen, and she's finally telling us who she is.
Yeah, they should have given us more reasons to care about Baela before the Gullet. Like, during the Gullet episode, we should have been on the edge of our seats going like, ooh, I hope Baela is okay. Ooh, I hope Jace is okay.
Yeah, like, I think that the dominant emotion we should have been feeling there is, oh my god, Baela is watching Jace die.
I like this moment where Adam says, Baela, like, hey, you need to stop chasing dragons and rest. And he sort of turns around to chastise her, but then Adam sort of bows in a sort of submissive pose and says, my lady. And so it reminds us that there's a status difference here.
He catches himself referring to her as Baela when this is a princess who was going to be the queen, and he is just a bastard.
Whereas Baela is saying, no, I'm the one who's down in the mud because Rhaenyra blames me for the death of Jace.
And she thinks
she
you're
loves
Dragon
Adam
Jesus.
for being a gift from the gods. Yeah. Dragon Jesus.
I love that Baela's like, okay, so my entire life was set out for me. I had it all figured out, and then it all just vanished in a single instant. And Adam's like, okay, sure, everything you thought you knew is gone, but you could have fun.
Yeah.
You could have an adventure. You want to have an adventure, Baela? It's like, put your feet on the ground, Adam. Like, is that really the response she needs?
Yeah. Adam has consistently been saying, I want social advancement in Westeros. So it's kind of the opposite of him to say, nah, fuck it, let's just fly off.
I mean, he could be trying to make this person happy.
Yeah.
That could be what that's about.
Well, it's interesting that there's an us all of a sudden.
Yeah. So we had a scene where Baela tries to relate to Alan, and now we're having a scene where Baela's trying to relate to Adam. It looks like they might be setting up a love triangle.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think we're seeing some affection for Baela from Adam here. Did we see much affection for Baela from Alan?
No.
Not really.
No.
Alan doesn't seem like someone who fucks. But Adam
fucks.
Adam fucks. That's what I think. I mean, the other interpretation of the Adam-Baela relationship is that he's just trying to help and protect his little half-niece, you know? She's family. I mean, that's the sort of fundamental uncomfortable ambiguity about almost every relationship in this show, which is that they are sometimes sexually interested in each other, but they also are family. And there's something just fundamentally complicated. I mean, if not outright incestuous, but something fundamentally complicated and ambiguous about any relationship which is familial, but also possibly also involving fucking.
Yeah, like if you're Baela here and you're hearing your half-uncle, Adam of Hull, trying to make you feel better, you're like, oh, that's... Hang on a moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like when Daemon tells Rhaenyra, marriage is just a political arrangement. You can have sex with whoever you want. Don't worry. It's like,
Yeah.
I can see where this is going.
It just colors every relationship with this uncomfortable undertone.
Yeah, just knowing that that's a possibility on the cards for this family.
Avoid incest at all costs.
We don't have the soundboard with us, everyone, so that's going to have to do.
So Baela says, now that Jace is dead and now that I don't get to be queen, I'll probably be married off to some fat lord on Pike who has enough gold to pay Rhaenyra's debts.
I think that's a weird line.
Yeah, I think it is a weird line.
I think this is an example of one of those weird lines.
Because, like, the Greyjoys who rule Pike are probably the poorest of the great lords in Westeros.
Unless they're having like a very successful reaving season where they've reaved all of their wealth from the Lannisters.
Which in fairness, like in the books, the Greyjoys are stealing all the Lannisters' gold right now.
At this point in the war, yeah.
But I mean, we were talking like since season 1, Otto and the Green Council was saying, let's marry Alicent to the Lord of Pike.
Yes.
So, like, the Lord of Pike is apparently a desirable bachelor right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in the books he has several salt wives at this point. I do like how, Baela's got her head in all of these abstract concerns. She's worried about the future. She's worried about the past. She's worried about her social status. And Adam's like, hey, like, you've got to eat or you'll die.
Yeah.
Like, I really like that he's being practical.
Well, it's sort of the exact same dynamic we see between Rhaenyra and Daemon, where Rhaenyra is so,
True.
like, her head is so high in the clouds.
True.
That, like, trying to figure out what's going on the ground is, like, not even a possibility for her. And Daemon is just, like, stuck in a material world.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, his sights are set in a ridiculous fashion in that material world, but he's still about, let's go get gold from Yi Ti.
I think it makes sense as well because, Baela has grown up a princess. She has not had to worry about food and material concerns, whereas Adam grew up poor and sometimes didn't get enough food. And so, like, I think he's definitely inclined to be concerned about food and sleep because he had to fight for it and work for it.
Yeah, even though Adam is Dragon Jesus, he's more real. He's more of a real guy than Baela ever has been.
Yeah.
Because he's had to live in the real world.
He's a dragon rider, but he is grounded. And that's why it's ironic that, Rhaenyra thinks that he's a gift from the gods, whereas Adam's like, I'm just into goat stew, man.
Yeah.
It's great to get some characterization of Adam and Baela. It feels a little bit late, I feel like, and I'd like to see more, like, emotional, dynamic decisions and action coming from these two, but I like that we are beginning to see a bit more from them.
I fucking love Ewan Mitchell. Look at him. Just look at him. I love him so much.
Yeah, I could watch Ewan Mitchell all day. There's just so much going on with his physical performance.
Yeah. Maybe Vhagar was afraid.
Yeah, Alice earlier said that Vhagar has fled, and now she says Vhagar's afraid.
Are the dragons scared of Harrenhal or the Isle of Faces?
I mean,
or Alice?
Yeah, I mean, all of the above. I mean, Helena told Aemond that Aemond will die in the God's Eye Lake. Vhagar, I think, knows that or understands that. Like, there is an understanding and a bond between Aemond and Vhagar.
Maybe it's not the dragons. Maybe it is Vhagar specifically, because Caraxes didn't have a problem sleeping in the Harrenhal Godswood.
Yeah, true.
Aemond asks Alice if he's a prisoner the same way that Rhaenys asks Alicent if she's a prisoner in Season 1, Episode 9. And also, in Season 1, Episode 4, when Daemon says the exact same words to Mysaria.
Am I your prisoner?
So that's fun. Are they going to have a discussion about feminine power at some point? Probably not. You seek only to make a window in the cage, Aemond.
Well, there's his window in the cage right there on the balcony.
How terrified would you be? Like, to be shambling out of... Like, does Aemond even know where he is at the moment? He's just woken up in a random bed. There's a random woman there. His dragon's somewhere. And he walks down a corridor. There's weirwood roots running through the holes. And he comes out onto this landing. And then he sees the lake that his psychic sister said he was going to die in. Like, that's terrifying.
And he hasn't even started properly tripping yet.
Yeah.
I really like this image of him stranded up in the balcony. Like he's like Rapunzel in the tower with his long blonde hair.
True.
He's like the princess in the tower. It's like this fun reversal where, like, instead of the woman being trapped by a monster in a tower,
the monster's trapped by a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really fun how Rhaenyra is now sleeping in her father Viserys's bed. And Aemond is now sleeping in the same bed where Daemon slept.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're getting this idea of, like, different characters in the same place, same position, and seeing how the different characters deal with the circumstance in different ways.
Yeah, cool. They mention in this episode that Baela currently lives in Aemond's old room, so this thought is on the characters' minds.
Yeah.
And it's definitely on the writers' minds.
It would make a lot of sense if Alicent is now in Rhaenyra's old room.
I think that is the case. No, it definitely is, because, like, the framing of some of the shots in that room looks exactly like the shot in Season 1, Episode 1 when Alicent is getting Rhaenyra dressed for the, like...
Yeah.
The fealty thing.
Yeah. Well, it connects to what we were saying about, like, Alicent is now playing the role of young Rhaenyra trying to escape her responsibilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is dead because he will not let me be. So Aemond is convinced that Aegon is dead because how else would he be a ghost fucking around in my head?
Yeah, it's interesting logic.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fun. It's fun that he insists, no, he's dead because he's tormenting me. And he couldn't do that if he was alive. Because he can't do shit when he's alive.
Well, it's kind of true in another way, which is that Aegon did not let Aemond be in their childhood when Aegon bullied Aemond. And the reason why Aemond killed Aegon is that he's still upset about the bullying.
Mm.
So Aegon was burned by Aemond because Aegon didn't let Aemond be. It's kind of true in multiple ways. I also love the imagery of like Aemond closing his good eye, but his blue eye cannot close. His missing sapphire eye cannot close. Where there's like a sleeplessness to him, an impossibility to get rest. One eye that will never close even after death. It's really funny that in this scene, Aemond seems to be implying that his mother didn't love him as much as he wanted.
Yeah.
And in the prior scene, Aegon complained that Alicent loved Aemond better. So, like, both Aegon and Aemond seem to think that their mother loved the other one more.
Yes, when we know that she doesn't love either of them. Like, Alicent is not capable of giving any of her children uncomplicated love, it seems.
Yeah.
Like, her feelings about Daemon are fraught, obviously, Aegon and Aemond, and even Helena, like, she's not giving her the agency that you would give to a person you love.
I really like how they find a similarity between Alice and Aemond, which is that they both feel grieved. They feel hard done by. Alice feels that some evil was done to the laborers who built Harrenhal and to her repeatedly. And Aemond feels bullied. And it's both in the past. Like the murders of the laborers by Harrenhal was 130 years ago, and Alice is still mad about it. She is wounded in a way that has not healed.
And Aemond is mad about bullying that well, it never ended, did it? Because Aegon was bullying Aemond last season, which was only a few months ago.
Yeah, true, in the scene with Sylvie.
The child that grieves her is the child a mother loves best. Alice seems to be saying that Harrenhal loves her the most, or does she love who grieves her the most? Like, is she looking for someone who can sympathize with her losses? Is she looking for the blonde man, the powerful blonde dragon riding man of her dreams who can actually understand what she's gone through, and she will give him her love?
She wants someone like Aemond or Daemon or someone to grieve for the hurt that Alice and Harrenhal have experienced.
Yeah.
Like, she's looking for one of these dickhead princes to be sympathetic for her pain and loss.
Yeah.
And Daemon is not it, and Aemond may be it. She just wants someone to care about what she's suffered.
Is Aemond grieving Alicent? Alice jumps to, like, you know, the one who grieves her is the one a mother loves most. Is Aemond really grieving Alicent? Does Aemond understand Alicent?
Like, it was very clear last season that Aemond didn't understand that Alicent had been ruling well for many years.
Yeah.
And Aemond only has any power because of Alicent's efforts.
And in this season, Aemond kissed Alicent, which to him made total sense, and to her was the most baffling thing that could have possibly happened.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't understand her.
I love this shot of Aegon clutching the scale of his maybe dead dragon Sunfire, just like jiggling his knee like nervously, angrily. He's just like boiling with pressure, but he can't take action. He's losing his mind. It's great.
Yeah, no, Tom's fantastic in this scene. I forget, when he kills Janos later this episode, what weapon does he use?
Probably the Valyrian steel spoon we keep talking about.
Well, yeah, it's not that, I don't think. But I also am a little peeved that it's not the Sunfire scale.
Yeah.
Can we check that right now, just to make sure I'm not full of shit?
Dragon time, dragon time, lizard time, dragon time.
I think it's a knife.
Yeah, it's just a knife.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a massive missed opportunity.
Yeah, they definitely should have had Aegon kill Janos with Sunfire scale. I think that would have been really cool. I love that Larys is trying to be practical, like, oh, okay, so you're sulking and everything, but I would love to go somewhere where, you know, there's other people that aren't going to kill us immediately. And Aegon's response to that is, he was always Cole's little pet. He was always a precious little bastard. Like, he's just not listening he's so stuck in his own world.
Yeah, Larys is like the lower class, lower status person who has to be more practical than this royal with his head in the clouds. Just like Adam has to be more grounded and practical than Princess Baela. It's really interesting, Larys seeing Aegon complain about his brother Aemond. Larys had the brother Harwin.
Yes.
Harwin was renowned as the strongest knight in Westeros.
Yeah.
Laris knows exactly the feeling that Aegon is talking about, and Laris could have brought that up. Aegon is saying, I want to murder the brother who overshadowed me. That's what Laris did.
Yeah, he literally
Laris
did that.
Murdered Harwin, the brother who overshadowed him. That's such a strong connection. It's weird that they don't bring it up.
Maybe it would be interesting to have Laris say that out loud. I'm okay with it being subtext in this scene.
Gwaine also told Alicent that our father Otto loves you more, just like how Aegon is here saying, oh, Alicent loved Aemond more, and Aemond was saying, Alicent didn't love me enough. Like, it's like the universal condition is for these children to all believe that they were not loved enough by their mothers.
You know how Rhaenyra is the only child that Viserys loved at all, and yet is still constantly in pursuit of more affirmation from Viserys?
Yeah.
It's all the same shit, man.
Tom Glencarny's like body performance here is so cool. Like, not only is he jiggling his knee, but he's also like moving his tongue around within his lips in like this just weird way. Like, he's just this bundle of like emotions that he just cannot adequately express and action that he cannot adequately take.
Yeah, he's very convincingly on the edge of a panic attack.
Yeah. Well, not panic, just like seething.
I don't know, I feel like he could have a panic attack any moment now.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he's able to have some emotional outage by killing Janos, so good for you, Aegon. It's very funny to me that Aegon speaks his cleanest High Valyrian ever just to complain about Aemond. Like, we've seen Aegon attempt to speak High Valyrian in the past, and he clearly doesn't know the language at all, but just to make fun of Aemond, he speaks perfect High Valyrian.
I really like how Laris, like, you know, for multiple scenes, he's been bottling up his frustration with Aegon. But at a certain point, you can just see it on his face that he's like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just
going to
say
it.
Press send on this email I've had in the drafts for a while. Imagine being told by fucking Laris Strong that you're a terrible person. By Laris Strong, who murdered his brother and father by burning them to death in their family home.
Yeah.
Who extorted the queen for feet pics.
Yeah.
Who takes the tongues out of people, sort of for funsies. This man is one of the darkest psychopaths in history. And he's just told you that you suck. Yeah,
well, Laris and Aegon are both terrible people. And the difference is that Laris does evil for a purpose.
Yeah.
He has successfully done evil acts in order to gain power and status and opportunity and favor. Whereas Aegon has done terrible things to no purpose.
Yeah,
he's only undermine himself.
He's just sort of evil by inertia rather than with any actual direction.
The only thing worse than doing evil for your own gain is doing evil for the gain of nobody.
Yeah.
Evil, an abomination to the advantage of no one. So there's a great scene because no one has ever told Aegon the truth to his face before. I mean, Alicent told Aegon, oh, you're so lazy and you do bad things and you're not my son. But I think this is the first time that Aegon has gotten the full rundown, the full rap sheet on just how comprehensively terrible he is on every level.
This next scene features Daemon Targaryen in a fucking church, and it's just like, he doesn't belong anywhere like this.
I love the way this scene starts, which is Rhaenyra is in the sept, close up, candles, she's praying, her eyes are closed. It's an image of peace and tranquility. And the way that Matt Smith enters the scene is not by walking into frame. You hear his voice off screen going, I love Matt Smith in his most gremlin-y mode.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
He's like a giggling devil.
Yeah, yeah.
See, Daemon is applied evil. Daemon is the sort of evil that Laris can get behind. They're just on opposing sides. Alicent taught Rhaenyra how to process her emotions in this room, at this table. And here, Daemon comes to Rhaenyra trying to work through shit and laughs at her.
Yeah, well, I think that the humility that Rhaenyra is trying to demonstrate is exactly what Daemon needs, right? Like, he's yelling about conquering China. This dude needs some humility. He needs to be humbled. He needs to process his own emotions. I love as well, we hear when Daemon plops his sword against the altar and it makes a loud metallic sound. Daemon is always doing that with his sword. He very often like grabs his sword, leans it against the table so that his sword is always visible. You hear it, you see it. The threat of violence is there because that's who he is. It interrupts the peace. Daemon's violence interrupts the peace.
There's not a single atom in Daemon's entire being that takes this seriously at all. I really like that Rhaenyra says that whatever's going on here with these murders, they're scheming against my rule. And Daemon clarifies, or they're scheming against the City Watch, which puts the idea that it could be from Rhaenyra, like, he might be accusing Mysaria by saying that, I think.
Right. I also really like something that Daemon said earlier, which is that you're the queen, there always will be rebels.
Yes.
Get used to it.
Did you imagine there would be no dispute?
Which is such a depressing fact of like, yeah, for the rest of your life, you will have to worry that people want to remove you and usurp you because they do. Like, there will be enemies forever. Get used to it.
I fucking love it when Daemon says something that's just straightforward and uncompromisingly true. I thought that the lengthy High Valyrian conversation in Season 3, Episode 3 on the balcony just before Daemon goes off to the Vale, I thought that was the lengthy conversation that Emma Darcy and Matt Smith were talking about, like, not being prepared for.
Yeah.
But then I watched this scene and I thought, oh my god, there's another extremely long conversation in a made-up language.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the scene that we're talking about.
I think it's very impressive.
Yeah.
I think it's very impressive.
The first time I watched this, I was like, oh my god, they are speaking this language. They really make it feel real.
Yeah, they do. They sell it. I think that in some prior scenes, Rhaenyra and Daemon talking Valyrian was like an intimate language, an intimate act. But here it's an act of fear and suspicion and secrecy.
Yes.
Because they have these priests and such walking around them and they're trying to hide their words from them. But yeah, the idea of a crouched, like, unseen enemy moving, acting as one, like, and the whole notion of, like, the apocalyptic darkness and cold, like, that also fits the notion of the many-faced god, the god of death, the stranger, the faceless men, who I think are probably behind the murders.
Yeah, that is also crouched and faceless and formless, right? Yeah, I think it makes sense that Rhaenyra is invoking the White Walkers and the apocalypse and everything her dad told her, but I really do hope that it's pointing in the direction of the Faceless Men. It just ties in so much better with Aemond and the money.
Yeah, if it is the Faceless Men, it could tie in with all this talk about Braavos and the Iron Bank, and Larys wants to go to Braavos, and the other way to read this is that this is a bit of quote-unquote Targaryen madness TM, because remember, like, you know, Rhaenyra had a hallucination of her dead son. She saw her dead son's ghost in episode 3, and so now she's talking about formless, crouched spirits about her.
Yeah,
like
true.
She
also saw Baela's ghost.
Yeah, and she was there.
That was actually real.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of threads going on here.
Daemon says that Rhaenyra is tired, and we know that Baela is tired, and Aemond looks pretty tired, and Larys is tired of Aegon's shit. Everyone's tired in this show.
Hot tip. Whenever your spouse is having a lot of, like, anxiety and is really worried and wants you to take them seriously, tell them they're tired.
Just tell them they're tired. That will make everything better.
Your partner will love them if you dismiss their concerns and tell them, you're just tired.
Yeah. These things you're worried about, you're just tired.
Hey, babe, you look tired.
Oh, people love being told that they look tired.
Hey, babe, the thing you're worried about isn't real. You look tired.
But the thing is, he's right. Like, Daemon is right.
Well, this is just like Adam telling Baela, you're tired. Stop worrying about abstract concerns and get some sleep.
Daemon smirks and walks away at the notion that he's been outdone.
I mean, this is Rhaenyra pushing away one of the few people who's close to her.
Yeah, and she keeps doing that. She keeps doing that. Who is she going to be left with? Like, she's already rebuffed Mysaria this episode. She's pushing away Daemon in this scene. It looks like she's gravitating back towards Alicent. But as we learn this episode, Alicent has to hide Helena's pregnancy from Rhaenyra. Daemon keeps ending scenes by walking away and saying something snarky. Like, he always has to get the last word, so he just walks away as he says it.
Yeah, it's such a thin, pathetic pride that he just has to feel like he's winning every argument.
So we check in on Kristen Cole and Gwaine and their army, not even an army, their band of guys.
Their ragged band of survivors.
Their numbers are dwindling, everyone's fucked up, it sucks, and Gwaine complains about thorns and brambles erupting from the earth as if to get in their way. Very funny. And yeah, it can feel like that when you're going through places like that. It's very cute that Gwaine calls Kristen friend, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Gwaine could just leave sooner, but Gwaine is trying to save Kristen.
Yeah.
Gwaine doesn't have to do that. I mean, he is meant to obey his Lord Hand. But you can see that Gwaine actually is trying to save the soul of this unsavable man, which is like a cool thing for him to do.
He says to Kristen, dude, look, I don't know if we can do this. I don't know if we're going to survive this. And Kristen's like, good point. We should do something even more insane. And so they leave the trail and cut through the lowlands to get ahead of the Riverman army, which they fail to do.
I love, like, after this big argument in which Aegon has had the biggest, like, dressing down of his life, he goes and awkwardly sits next to Larys. And you can see that Larys feels a little bit ashamed of having the first sincere emotional outburst of his life. And, like, they're both, like, sitting there in this sort of, like, you know, awkward post-coital haze of just showing their emotions to each other and then going, that was awkward. Kind of wish we didn't say all those things.
It's actually quite cute.
Oh, yeah,
and it's also hilarious. This is one of the funniest shots in the entire franchise where Aegon just sits silently next to Larys for 20 goddamn seconds and he says, okay, fine, hire the fucking ship. We'll do your thing. You win. And Larys hands him an apple. Good boy.
Yeah, well, it's like a little sorry apple. Either way, it's very cute that the two worst people in the world have started this little awkward friendship. It's nice.
And then Tyland fucking Lannister appears. Speaking of a comedy.
It's really funny when Tyland arrives and they play some music that's like kind of like, ooh, epic music.
It's a little bit Reigns of Castamere.
Mm-mm. But since Tyland has largely been a comedic character for the last season or so, it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know whether to play it as like an epic dramatic moment or more as a kind of goofy moment. Now
there's 3 goofy guys together at Rook's Rest.
Yeah. I also like Tyland is wearing a cloak to try and hide his Lannister identity, but like he's wearing some very conspicuous lion-shaped buttons on his fancy clothing. The other thing that's funny about this moment is the like it almost feels like it's meant to be a reunion between, you know, long lost friends. But none of these people have ever liked each other.
I didn't get that feeling from it. I felt that this was like a complication.
Yeah.
That Aegon and Larys have just agreed to work together and now fucking Tyland shows up to make things another dimension of complicated. Seeing Alicent Hightower in this outfit is just fucking comical.
It is funny. Yeah.
It reminds me of seeing Rhaenyra dressed as a nun. It's Sister Act bullshit off again. And it's fucking comical that they sneak out. Alicent's like really tense about it. Jaehaera will see us at the end of the hallway. Don't worry. Like she's lying to her daughter and Helena's really tense. And then like the first hurdle, Mysaria is like, so were you planning on like walking around me or what was your plan here? It's fucking
It's
funny.
very evident that every one of Alicent's plans is weak sauce and desperate and fails.
And the only one that ever worked was the one where she had to appeal to her best friend.
Which also kind of didn't work because Alicent couldn't control Aegon and Aemond's movements.
But it still sort of did work because here we are, Rhaenyra is the queen. Although it would have worked a lot better if Aemond and Aegon had done what they were supposed to.
I still think it would have worked if Alicent did nothing, but whatever.
This plan also would have worked if Alicent had done nothing.
Yeah, that's the trouble with this season so far, is that it would be identical if Alicent wasn't in it.
I don't know, Rhaenyra wouldn't know that Aemond doesn't like smelly things.
Yeah, that is Alicent's biggest contribution to the plot so far, is that now Rhaenyra knows that Aemond doesn't like smells.
I think that Alicent's presence is going to drive a big wedge between Rhaenyra and Mysaria. Also Rhaenyra and Daemon.
And it's very funny that even after this most harebrained of schemes, they managed to get themselves in an even stupider predicament, which is accidentally locking themselves in a dark room with no candle and no way out. Yeah. It's like just when they did the stupidest thing they've ever done, they do something even more unfortunate.
Don't worry, Helena, I have an even better idea. But yeah, that's the result of desperation, no?
You think that plan was stupid?
Check this out. Masterful Gambit. I fucking love seeing all the cats in this episode.
Hell yeah. So, Mysaria catches Alicent and Helena trying to escape, and then Alicent tells Mysaria, you shouldn't rely on Rhaenyra because she is more connected to Daemon, and she is inconsistent, she doesn't really care about you. You used to be cool,
Yeah,
Zarya.
you used to work with
used to
us.
be powerful. You used to be the White Worm. You used to be smart. You used to play different sides against each other. And now you're being a lapdog to Rhaenyra.
Yeah, you've put yourself in this cage.
And I love it. I think this is the most like powerful Alicent has felt in a while because everything Alicent says is true, and you can see that it persuades Mysaria. And I love that it reminds us, like we keep saying, Mysaria used to seem so powerful. She had all her spies. She was able to.
Yeah, it's really cool that a character actually says that. Like, you used to be different. You've changed. What's going on? Why don't you be more like you used to be?
Yeah. And you can see that land and impact Mysaria. So yeah, I like after a series of sort of like bumbling incompetencies, it's cool to see Alicent make a mark and be right and have an influence. So I really like that.
Do you think this is going to play into however the hell Helena and Alicent are going to escape from the tunnel they've sealed themselves in? Like, is Mysaria going to be the force that allows them to get out of that? I don't know.
I think locking Alicent and Helena in a dark tunnel at the end of this episode is bewildering. I do not know what the purpose of that is.
I concur.
Like, what is the purpose of that? I have a bad feeling that next episode they're just going to be out of the tunnel again and it's fine.
That would be really fucking funny to me.
It's an interesting device at the end of this episode where they're cutting between.
Oh, I really love that.
Kristen's speech, Daemon discovering Luther, Alicent and Helena in the tunnel. Like, that's kind of a fun filmmaking technique to juxtapose those.
I do love it when this show does that.
But I hope that they didn't just lock Alicent and Helena in a tunnel for no reason.
Yeah, just to add weight to Kristen's speech, because that makes no sense in universe.
It's goofy. And like, I mean, surely, realistically, Helena and Alicent can just walk back the way they came, right? I mean, they can't see, but they should still be able to feel their way back to where they came from, surely.
Alicent said that the door shut behind them.
Does the door lock behind them? I mean, they could just bang on the door.
It was like a big stone thing and it opened inward. Like, you'd have to pull it out. It is funny to me that Helena increasingly is now saying her visions out loud. Like, she said to Alicent, I saw Aemond, he burns but without fire.
True, yeah.
And she just didn't acknowledge that. And like, she keeps saying these things. And I think at some point, eventually, someone has to be like, hey, Helena, what the fuck are you talking about? Please explain how you're seeing these things and what they mean.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Alicent will be the person to do that.
Yes.
Because like Aemond was too like emotional and afraid to ask that. He just ran away.
Which I think is fair enough. Like, he's personally invested. She just told him he was going to die.
But if Alicent, Alicent might be sort of practical and pragmatic enough to go like, okay, hang on, what do you mean?
Yeah, like, finally she'll have nothing else to do. So she'll be like, wait. Scroll back a little bit, Helena. What the fuck did you just say?
Why do you think Helena wants to see the moon?
That's a great one. I think it could be to do with the caterpillar. Do you not think it's the caterpillar?
It could be the caterpillar. I mean, like, in the previous episode when Helena said, this is weird, it's not the season. Was she talking about the caterpillar when she said that?
Well, yeah. She was working on the butterfly journal. Well, she was looking at the butterfly journal. She was at that caterpillar bush. Yeah.
So is she surprised that there's caterpillars at this time?
Or maybe the caterpillar behavior is not of the season.
Helena is concerned by unseasonal caterpillar behavior.
And this is the most important plot thread currently.
Well, it's the plot thread I'm most interested in right now.
Yeah.
So maybe the book she was reading said something about the moon and the significance of the full moon to the caterpillar life cycle.
Maybe it was a full moon that night and she was like, I really need to see the full moon. Like, it's my thing. I've got to go out and look at the moon. Well, I mean, at the end of the scene, we see that the caterpillar is like sort of withering or changing. It looks a little bit damaged. So that might be what's going on. Like, my caterpillar needs to see the moon for something. After she says that and Alicent says, no, we can't go. You'll have to use the window. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, after Helena is denied the opportunity to go out and see the moon, she like physically writhes. She can't contain herself. Like, there's an energy in her.
This is really important to her.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a seasonality to Helena's visions. Theory, what if Helena only gets visions on a new moon or a full moon?
Well, yeah, the moon thing, moon being associated with like fertility cycles, menstrual cycles, very much a thing, very much an established idea.
And moons can be associated with mysticism and magic and visions.
Oh, totally.
The moon's where I get all my news.
The moon is a feminine celestial body, even in A Song of Ice and Fire, because Drogo calls Daenerys moon of my life, right? And the moon is an egg that cracked open and 1,000 dragons hatched from it. So I think it being connected to fertility and menstruation and birth and all that makes total sense. And maybe Helena is connected to it psychically in that way.
Yeah.
Seems weird.
It's Joffrey Valerian.
Joffrey's back. And he's asleep because it's fucking late, man. And he's got jet lag.
He's asleep because they don't want to give lines to this character.
True, they'd have to pay the kid more.
It's very strict in the actor's contract. The actor does not want to say any lines.
Well, yeah, his voice is broken since season 2, and they just don't want to. Like, it'd just feel weird.
Mummy, where's my dragon mother? I love how in all the early seasons, Rhaenyra was close with her children and loved them, while Alicent was apart. And now, as soon as Rhaenyra is queen and has political responsibilities,
the magnetic pole switch. It's a polar switcheroo.
She suddenly feels that it's difficult to connect with her children. This is what power does to your relationships.
Well, she got close with Jace and Luke, and they both died, and it sucked. So maybe if I don't get close to this one, it won't suck when this one inevitably dies.
But yeah, I love how Rhaenyra hides behind the door. Almost afraid to see her son. Like, afraid to lose her son as well after Jason Luke.
Yes. She's afraid to get close to him. Also, she's busy.
Well, I mean, she could have seen Joffrey earlier, but she decided to go pray in the church instead.
Yeah, because her legitimacy is more important to her. Her priorities are pulled in strange directions. This is where Adam and Baelor were earlier, isn't it? Where Kristen and Gwain's army goes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. So this is the village near Wendish Town? No, but that's in the west, isn't it?
Yes, I don't know where exactly Adam and Baelor were.
Geography.
Maybe it's a different place where...
Geography.
Could be different. I could check, but I won't.
So Kristen wants a big, glorious death in battle. And to get to his big, glorious battle about which songs will be sung, he trudges through the mud and the leeches and corpses in the most miserable, unglorious way possible. I love seeing pretty boy Gwaine utterly drenched and bedraggled and uncomfortable.
I love him looking around and thinking, this death march seems a lot deathier than I was anticipating.
Yeah, do you think Gwaine is the last person to realize that this is leading to their deaths?
Oh, yeah.
All these other soldiers may already know that.
Gwaine was still on an adventure until just now.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little bit like Aegon being told to his face for the first time that he sucks. Like, Gwaine is realizing for the first time, like, he's the one privileged pretty boy here who's realizing, like, war leads to doom and death. Like, he's the last one in the room to realize that. Everyone else is a low-born soldier who have lived their lives risking themselves for some lord, dying for some lord. Gwaine's the last one to realize he's in that situation.
I like the idea that Gwaine is trading one hell for another when he leaves this and goes to Tumbleton.
Yeah.
Because, like, what's Ormond going to be like to Gwaine at Tumbleton?
Yeah.
And, like, it looks like there's going to be a big stupid battle at Tumbleton sometime soon. They really sell how much this sucks.
They really, like, put some work into the Foley and the sound effects of Gwaine removing the leech, plucking it off his flesh.
And Kristen looks at him as if to say, you got a problem? Is something wrong, your majesty?
I've got like 10 leeches, Gwaine. What are you complaining about?
Get more blood, idiot.
Leech, more like free snack. So a bunch of men climb up a cliff to get to Harrenhal to try to find and kill Aemond. Like, why do they climb up the cliff? I mean, we know these people are Ironborn because one of them talks about Saltwife. So it does make lore sense that the Ironborn plan is deranged and stupid and self-defeating. That is completely in keeping with the behavior of the Ironborn in the story.
Stupid and determined enough to climb a cliff for no reason.
Yeah, doing something like impressive and ambitious to the benefit of no one is the Greyjoy way.
That's the sort of evil Larys cannot get behind.
Yeah. The big weirwood tree, like, it looks kind of fake. Like, it looks like a prop. And I kind of like that because it makes it look more alien. Like, it looks like these tentacles with the big roots running over the thing. Like, it looks out of place and scary and weird, which I think it should because I think that the weirwoods kind of are a weird alien organism that has like parasitically inserted itself upon Westeros.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a hive mind god in all of George's other sci-fi stories, which are pretty much always aliens doing weird shit. So these guys have come to Harrenhal to try and kill Aemond because Rhaenyra said that whoever kills Aemond gets Harrenhal. Alice is sick of this shit, but they're going to try it anyway. And one of them goes to... It's an episode of House of the Dragon, so it wouldn't be complete without a sexual assault. So one of them goes to do that to Alice, and then Aemond shows up and kills them all sicko style.
They go crazy on the sound effects with the sword.
Yeah.
Like, listen to the sound effects. Like, it's going... Like, it sounds like a fucking lightsaber. It's crazy. Like, it's very video gamey, the sound effects here.
Aemond is a cartoon character. It's been true for a very long time.
I think that Aemond might have been making those sound effects with his mouth, actually. Aemond wants to not only look, but sound cool when he does fighting.
And fair enough. Even in his reduced state, that's more important to him. Do you get the impression that Alice was actually in danger? Do you think Alice would put herself in this danger?
It's interesting because, like, we've seen Alice turn into a goat and assassinate Grover Tully and
Summon
has
flocks of
satyrs
bats.
for friends. Yeah, like, it seems to sort of take away from her mistake that she's threatened by a few gormless idiots with swords.
I choose to believe that she wasn't actually in danger. I choose to believe that for her sake.
So do you think that Aemond, like, she was deliberately creating a situation so that Aemond could help her and sort of try to win his loyalty more?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that she was luring Aemond.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this scene feels a little like, what's the point of this scene? I like something that happens is that, you know, the Ironborn's impaled on the root with the blood on the tree, so that maybe Aemond will get visions. And it kind of feels a bit like this whole scene is there just for that, you know? It just doesn't feel like a super necessary scene to me.
I think the episode sort of did need a cool action sequence.
I don't know. It felt like a video gamey fight scene put in obligatory fight scene type thing to me. But the sound effects were cool.
I'm shocked, honestly, that you don't think the guy being impaled on the weirwood root justifies a scene of any length and stupidity.
That is sick and cool. Oh, yeah. No, that is true. That is cool. I mean, yeah, this is the second time in as many seasons as we've seen an incidental blood sacrifice to a weirwood tree.
Yeah.
You love to see it. So Tyland disagrees with Larys's plan. Larys wants to take Aegon to Braavos, and Tyland wants to take Aegon to Lannisport. And Tyland is like, oh, you can't go across the sea to Braavos because there's pirates and dragons and enemies. And Tyland is like, what are you going to do in Braavos? Eat dates and incense while Westeros burns? I feel like Tyland doesn't know what incense is. Does Tyland think that you eat incense?
No, I think that he's using incense as a verb. Eating, are you going to eat dates and incense while Westeros burns?
Oh, incense as a verb.
Yeah.
Oh, he's crazy for that one.
Yeah, no, that's even crazier than eating myrrh. Yeah. Tyland might be insane because he thinks that Braavos is hot and that there's monkeys there. There might be monkeys there, but it's definitely not hot.
Well, yeah, Tyland mentions the monkeys as though the monkeys are some kind of major threat, which is fantastic because, like, we saw a monkey in season 2, and the monkey's actor's name was Rosie, and this implies that canonically Tyland was beset by Rosie at some point.
Yeah, no. Well, that's how the episode started. We followed Rosie. Rosie was our POV character for that scene.
Yeah, the monkey
we followed
that rides.
Rosie into the tent, and that's when the meeting began.
Yeah.
They were all waiting for Rosie to show up. Okay, now we can begin. Now that the monkey is here.
The monkey's alone. I want to know what Rosie the monkey did to Tyland in Tyrosh.
It's really funny. He does bring up, I've eaten with them, I've sung with them, I spent time with them, and he cuts himself off. I believe this is confirmation that Tyland indeed did have sex with Sharako Loha's wives.
It's delightful. I do love that this is implying so much about Tyland's history with the SOC and with the Triarchy. But yeah, as you say, it's very bizarre that Tyland says that Braavos is too hot.
Does he think that Braavos is in Tyrosh? Does he mean Tyrosh when he says all of this? It's just like sort of confusing to me that Tyland Lannister is confused about Braavos and Tyrosh.
Tyland Lannister was the master of coin.
He was the master of ships.
He should know very well what Braavos is and what it's like. Every educated nobleman in Westeros should know that Braavos is cold and doesn't have monkeys and isn't Tyrosh.
Well, look, I think it might.
And
have
you don't
monkeys.
eat incense, Tyland.
Maybe that's why he's eaten so much incense that his brain's turned to mush.
Well, I'll tell you why his brain is mush. He just
He's
drowned.
Yeah, he's drowned. Tyland's fucking dead, man. He's also dealing with the grief of his brother having died. Tyland has a vengeance against Roddy Dustin and Daemon Targaryen.
Well, I just think it's really fun that like everything's gone terribly wrong for Tyland, and he just pops out of the sea 4 episodes later and is like, right, what's on the agenda?
Where
How
we going
can I
next,
help?
lads?
You're so right that it's crazy that Aegon doesn't stab Janos with his dragon scale, because he's holding the dragon scale right now.
Well, maybe he does, and we're just idiots and can't see it.
It looks to me like it's a dagger. Like, Aegon is like, oh, I'll put down this pointy dragon scale so that I can pick up my dagger.
Whatever happens, it should have been clearer.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's really weird that Tyland is like, you shouldn't go to Braavos because the pirates of Tyrosh are wild and unreliable. It's like, wait, Braavosi are not the same at all to the pirates of Tyrosh.
I figured that there he's talking about getting across the narrow sea.
But why would they even need to encounter Tyrosh?
Because they're at Rook's Rest and the Triarchy is crowding the gullet, and then you'd have to go through that to get to Braavos. I think that Tyland's concern that there are pirates in the Narrow Sea is well-founded, considering that the last thing that happened to him is he was thrown overboard into the Narrow Sea by a pirate.
You know why he says Braavos is hot? Because they're referencing the Braavos lemon tree conspiracy again. Daenerys has a memory about having a lemon tree at Braavos, but it's established in other parts that Braavos is not the climate for growing lemon trees, and so that leads to whole theories about Dany actually having grown up in Dorne instead of in Braavos, and there's a mural in House of the Dragon of a lemon tree, which might evoke that.
And Larys Strong talks about plants blossoming where they shouldn't in
that
front
scene.
of that mural.
Yeah. So this show definitely has referenced a theory about the climate of Braavos. So actually, that is totally why he says that about Braavos being hot.
Yeah. So we're complaining about it, but it was actually there for us. They put that there for us, and we're complaining about it.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a travesty if we don't catch that reference, because who else will? I do.
It's sort of like how we completely missed the butterfly journal in the first shot where it showed up.
Yeah, that was an L. That was a Dragon Time L that we did not mention the toxic butterflies in that episode. They were crazy for that one. I do love that for them. I do like how Larys accuses Tyland of wanting to bring Aegon to Castle Rock for the political advancement of the Lannisters, and accuses Tyland of wanting the Targaryen king to rule from Castle Rock, when that is something that has happened a couple of other times. Like at one point, King Aerys Targaryen rules from Castle Rock for like a year.
But Tyland points out how fucking rich it is of Larys to be saying that. Like, I'm the one aiming up my own advancement, am I?
It is fun, like this bickering between Larys and Tyland. Like it's the same vibe as all these other like bickering counselors at the council tables over the years.
Oh yeah.
I love in this shot, you can see the corpse of the dragon Melis in the background.
Oh yeah.
The mottled, rotting flesh of Melis next to the burned flesh of the Targaryen dragon Aegon. That's fun.
Sunfire is definitely not dead. Because Melis looks like that.
Yeah.
And Sunfire doesn't look anything like that.
So Aegon kills Janos.
Yeah, man.
And Larys's reaction is like this exasperated shrug. Like, it's not shock, it's not anger, it's just, oh my God.
This is a whole thing we'll have to deal with now, isn't it?
Oh my God, Aegon has found another way to make my life harder.
Well, he's lashing out because, he's squandered his birthright and he's just now been told that, and he's like going through that.
Aegon kills Janos because Janos found Aegon's crown and realized who Aegon is. So Aegon kind of did have to kill Janos at this point.
Oh, definitely. I do love that he says, "You may call me your grace. This is who I am. I deserve to be king.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be someone who's worth that. I think he might actually kill him with the scale. I think we might be wrong. I do wish it was clear, though.
It is interesting that Luther Largent, commander of the Gold Cloaks, says we will find the people who are murdering Gold Cloaks, and we will make a grim example of them. And then, shortly afterwards, we see Luthor and Gold Cloaks dead, and they are made into a grim example. They're like corpses are displayed in a ghastly diorama.
Yeah, is this what Luthor was saying they would do?
That is a grim example.
Is Luthor saying, let's find these people and do a Last Supper thing with them?
Maybe Luthor is the faceless man, and he's doing the murders.
Oh, that's insane, yeah.
Daemon gives a rousing speech to the Gold Cloaks, asking them to continue serving, continue protecting, even though they're not being paid and they're being murdered currently.
Yeah, in Daemon's rousing speech to the police that he invented, he says, without us, King's Landing would be, and then he describes exactly what it currently is.
Could you imagine what it would be like? There'd be insurrection in the streets and people being murdered without any oversight.
It's like, that's precisely what's happening right now.
It's really fun that Daemon is promising the Gold Cloaks, we're going to conquer the world. And Rhaenyra was very much like, I don't know if we will conquer the world, Daemon.
Yeah, I also think it's funny how he says,
and the 7 kingdoms will become 9. What? 9? And then 12 and 17 and 116 kingdoms.
116.
Which kingdoms precisely?
Well, Egg told us in A Night of the Seven Kingdoms Season 1.
That it would be 9.
The 9 kingdoms are the North, the Vale, the Riverlands, the Reach, the Dawn, the Stormlands, the what are the other ones?
I think these podcasts might be a bit long.
Well, there are 9
there
kingdoms
are 9
if you include
regions,
Dawn.
yes, of Westeros.
There
but
are
currently,
9.
8 of them are under the supposed jurisdiction of the Iron Throne. And the only one that isn't is Dawn.
It's really going from 8 to 9
Yes.
once you conquer Dawn.
Well, the Crown Lands isn't a kingdom. I do fucking love that Daemon says,
Don't you worry. Rhaenyra's going to conquer the entire planet and bring all of the money back here, and she's going to pay the cops. She's going to pay you.
The local cops.
What the fuck are you talking about, Daemon? I can't believe they fall for this.
We're going to rob China and give their silks to the police. The point is that Daemon's pitch is so bad, but the men still follow him because Daemon's a cool, charismatic guy with a cool sword. Because, bless him, he is a cool, charismatic guy with a cool sword.
Oh, yeah.
And, that contrasts with Rhaenyra, who is also very hardworking and her heart is in the right place, but a lot of people reject her and don't like her because she just doesn't have Riz in the same way.
Yeah, she's not a cool, charismatic guy with a sword.
Which is the point.
And the only person who ever saw Rhaenyra as a cool, charismatic guy with a sword is Mysaria.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daemon gives this ridiculous speech that somehow rouses them, and he says, well, looks like I've still got it.
I think from this shot in particular, Daemon's costume, it's got that triangular broad shoulders and narrow hips. It's like an almost cartoon version of a masculine body, you know? It's a
like Johnny
confident
Bravo
body.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo. Yeah, he's got that Johnny Bravo torso happening. This totally unearned confidence.
Oh, I think
Semi-earned
Daemon sort of
confidence.
earned his confidence.
Yeah, such a crazy quick cut between scenes.
Yeah, well, this episode has a lot of fucking scenes.
So Kristen and Gwaine and the Crown Lands
Riverlands.
blokes, they get past Stony's Sept to the place that they were going to cross, hoping that they could get there before the Riverlords, but the Riverlords already got there and burned the bridge behind them. And I like how you can see they even left behind a Targaryen banner, a black Targaryen banner,
cool.
which is Rhaenyra's red dragon. So that's neat.
Yeah, so this is the result of Oscar Tully deciding to play Kristen's game. Have you ever seen someone so defeated as Gwaine here?
Oh, it's fantastic. Gwaine is on the verge of tears at the sight of all the effort they've gone to was for nothing. I think he's almost relieved as well. He's like, oh, it's finally over.
Thank God we failed.
Yeah, thank God. We've failed and we're alive. We can go home now.
Let's go home. Whereas Kristen's like, there is no home. Home is death. I'll rest when I'm dead. And probably not even then. And yeah, so you've never seen someone so defeated as Gwaine or as determined as Kristen. Look at that.
Yeah.
He will march into hell.
Yeah, they're just perfect as a contrast to each other.
The City Watch have apprehended someone, and Daemon and Luther Largent torture him, and they extract the information that he was paid to do something, I assume murder. I assume he was involved in the murders.
Yeah, look, I think they're implying that the guy murdered Gold Cloaks.
Yeah.
They don't explicitly say that, but they imply it.
Yeah, like, why else would they be doing this?
The thing that's weird about this is that they have implied so much this episode that there's some magical, mystical, unknown force, like the Faceless Man doing the murders. Is this meant to be the reveal that, nope, it's just people?
Well, this guy says that he never saw the face of the guy he was taking orders from.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible that a Faceless Man is orchestrating things, but not doing all of them himself.
Yeah, because there's still stuff unexplained. Like, Daemon says that the killings are happening by daylight, and yet there are no witnesses.
Yeah, which is quite crazy in such a dense city as King's Landing.
Like, if this random bearded guy, like, how the hell is this random person killing and disemboweling Gold Cloaks with no one noticing in broad daylight? So my interpretation...
Well, they apprehended him somehow, so someone figured something out.
Yeah. This is weird
It's
to me.
weird. Yeah.
I'm not sure what we're meant to take from this. Are we meant to take Daemon was right, it's just ordinary men? Or are we meant to be like, there's some shadowy hand behind this? I mean, this does reveal that Aemond is the one orchestrating these murders. But is there something more mystical going on or not? I'm not sure.
Well, so I think this is Daemon thinks he's being proven right here because it's just a guy who's done some murders and Aemond is behind it. And these are physical, material, tangible forces that I'm familiar with and can deal with.
Yeah.
And then in the final scene, he walks in on that scene and probably thinks, oh, there's more going on here.
Yeah.
So I think that it's sort of like a bait and switch.
It's interesting that like Daemon and Luther, they both seem to enjoy torturing this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Pulling out his eyeballs, killing him.
Love a good torture.
And it's similar to since season 1, episode 1, we saw Daemon enjoying mutilating criminals.
The upshot is Daemon learns that Aemond is making Daeron a king and he's got coins minted and that's fucking crazy. And Luther, I think we're going to have to kill this guy. Shucks.
Gwaine is like, let's go back to Tumbleton and we'll see what Ormond's plan is. What Gwaine should say is, let's go to Tumbleton and ask Daeron's fire-breathing dragon to come and solve the problem of this enemy army by burning them with the fire from the fire-breathing dragon that they have.
I suppose that would help. Yeah. Yeah, so Gwaine says, we did it. We failed successfully. Let's all go home to our beautiful feather beds now. And Kristen, no. Nah, gonna die. I plan on dying. Yeah, that's right. Gwaine is like, we returned alive and no one can say that's a failure. And to Kristen, that is failure. Returning alive would be failure.
I do like Kristen's argument that he has always been a subject and a servant and only through death can he achieve freedom. He is nihilistic, self-destructive, and should try to imagine a path to life.
But that's real as fuck, Kristen. Yeah.
It is real as fuck. Like, it is true that so long as he lives, he will be a slave to whatever rich assholes want to use him.
I love this speech that he gives because it really humanizes his actions.
Yeah.
In a way that sort of had been angled at but never truly said for a long time. And I feel like after all these years, I'm finally understanding. Like, I've always enjoyed watching Kristen, but now I'm here for it.
Yeah. He's wrong, but he makes sense.
Yeah. You got it, Kristen. Fuck him. So Gwaine's like, okay, what's the plan, man? And Kristen's like, we're gonna fight them. Yeah, we're gonna follow them. We're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna attack the Rivermen. And Gwaine's
Gwaine has this fantastic expression where he's so tired, but he's like squinting with like, is this guy really saying what I think he's saying?
Can you repeat that for me, Kristen?
I knew this guy was nuts, but are you telling me that this motherfucker wants to fight 20 rivermen to each one man we have? It's like, is someone really this crazy?
After all these leeches, this is your plan? After a week of trudging through the mud, like, this is what this is adding up to?
Kristen, we've been leaving people to rot in the fens where they fall over. Gwen says you would march us to our certain deaths, and Kristen looks at him like,
Did I stutter?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you get it. It feels like you've read the brief, finally.
Yeah.
I just love Kristen's response so much. Oh, yeah, we're gonna die. Yeah. Well, we're always gonna die.
Kristen has seen stuff. He has looked into the abyss and it's looked back and he's like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I get it, man. I'm not on your side, but I get it.
And Gwaine thinks he can bail Kristen out of the abyss by employing him.
Yeah, just continue to be a soldier who will be ordered to war whenever my rich family feels like it.
And it's the simplest thing. Like, Gwaine says that because it just occurs to, like, oh, you're a knight. You should be in service to a house. And so both of them are just, like, speaking to the core of their characters. It's who they are. That Kristen would say, you're not offering me sanctuary. You're offering me a job. And that's cool of you, but I am gonna die. Kristen, like, he exhausted all of his options decades ago.
Yeah.
And, we've been talking for ages about Alicent's desperation and the insane things she does because of it. Like, the options she exhausts simply because there's nothing sensible left to do. Kristen is also completely out of options, and he's found that the only thing he can do is die on his own terms.
And he hopes that it'll be a glorious death and they'll sing songs of him and that Alicent will remember him positively. What is the one way that Kristen can have a legacy? What is the one way that Kristen can be remembered?
He can fight and die.
Yeah. That in this society, in the rules of this world, that is the one way that he can be remembered.
Fabian Frankel is incredible. I think he steals the show for me this episode. His little nods in between every line as though he is physically assuring himself of his own righteousness. I love it so much.
I think his sad eyes are so wonderfully sad.
That's the thing, is underneath all of it is still that gorgeous white knight that Rhaenyra fell for to begin with.
I think it's important that he's handsome.
Oh, yeah.
I love, like, Gwaine is just so dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even clear if he's, like he's stunned, but he's also just tired.
Yeah, this is no state to learn about classism in. You want to be well rested when you learn about that, when the reality of the social dimensions of your existence are made clear to you. I'm the realm's greatest warrior, baby.
I do love that line. Kristen saying he's the realm's greatest warrior. Because, like, in this context, after utter defeat and the most notable person he's ever killed in battle is Lord Peter Piper, like it just comes across as pathetic. It comes across as delusional.
Kristen beheaded Lord Darkland.
Not in combat. Who has he killed in combat?
Okay.
No one apart from Peter Piper, right?
Shit.
I mean, he's killed some nameless soldiers.
It's hilarious that there are two contexts Kristen's speaking in right now. A, he's been utterly defeated in this Riverlands campaign. He's like, just look at him, just look at Gwaine, look at their men. Like, it's utterly hilarious to say right now that he's the realm's greatest warrior. But also, he has been an unwavering sword to the people he serves for decades.
He
is the realm's greatest warrior.
Yeah.
He beat Daemon Targaryen in a tournament.
By hitting him in the back while he was celebrating.
Yeah, greatest warrior.
Yeah.
Clear-eyed. That's what it's about, though. It's not really about the deed. It's not about actually being the realm's greatest warrior. It's about having an unbending spirit.
Well, and it's about choosing. I mean, did we say this? It's the same as Helena when she says the pregnancy is hers and she chooses to keep it. And that's why it's important to her, is because she wants to get to choose what happens to her body. And Kristen is saying the same thing. He wants to choose.
I think we did say that.
Yeah.
That sounds like the sort of thing we would say.
But yeah, I really like this arc as a commentary on the horror of a feudal system in which people have power over each other to this extent. Just that, like, this show is about the horror of another person owning your body.
Yes, in so many different ways.
And I think this is a really cool, strong perspective on that. well done.
Like, Kristen could have been great. He could have genuinely been a good person. He could have been a great man. But because of the circumstances of the political arrangement of his life, the ownership of his body, the only way he has to express himself is to pointlessly die.
Kristen says that Alicent will hear the songs of Kristen's glory. And it is so nice, the way he still worships Alicent and sees her as his light. But it's funny, though, because Alicent sees Kristen as an object of shame.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
It was a mistake. Like, she is almost as disgusted as herself for that as Kristen is for breaking his chastity vows and as Rhaenyra is for that whole sad incident. No one thinks their fucking was a good idea.
Yeah.
But I guess, the difference between the sex with Rhaenyra and the sex with Alicent is that Rhaenyra ultimately rejected Kristen, whereas Alicent never definitively rejected Kristen. I'm the best warrior. The queen loves me.
I'm actually awesome, and my death is gonna rock.
Yeah.
And Gwen's just sitting there across from him thinking every single thing you said there is so full of shit, mate.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I believe that you believe it, and good for you.
Gwen is just, like, slack-jawed, just sort of gazing at the ground, like...
He's gaping.
It's not even clear how much he's listening, and I love that. So Rhaenyra and Alan look at a book or a paper that lists the condition of a bunch of ships. So I think this is a report on the condition of the Velaryon fleet.
Oh, that's so fun.
And so we get to see the names of a bunch of ships, which include Lady Rhaena, Ring of Nowhere, Poisoned Thorn, Whirlwind, and Ballad of the Bay of Ice.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, it lists all these ship names and it lists their condition. Like, some of them are sunk and presumed sunk, or...
I want to see what it says about Lady Rhaena, because that might say something about the character Lady Rhaena as well. You know how props do that?
Galley consumed by dragonfire.
Consumed by dragonfire. That's Rhaena. That's Rhaena, all right. So Daemon comes in and shows Rhaenyra the Darren coin and says, "Boy howdy, if you thought there were only 3 monarchs running around in this show, I've got news for you. Darren's king now."
What is this? A war of the 3 kings?
That doesn't sound right. And Daemon's like, well, we should have killed all of them, which is a really helpful thing to say. It's like he can't imagine a world where he does something and it goes poorly, even though that happens all the time. So we're in this final scene now where Kristen's speech about the 7 and how in the darkness we will not lose heart and let's go off and die in a pointless battle. And it's intercut with Alicent and Helena's ridiculous traipse into the tunnels and Daemon stumbling across his feast for traitors thing, his men being murdered and displayed for him. Helena says she hears something, and it looks like she's talking about the cat who's showing her a tunnel. But it's Helena, so maybe we should think about who else she could be talking about. What does Helena mean when she says she hears something? Is she talking about the cat, or is something else going on? Gwaine leaves as Kristen says, "Let the blessed smith us with his strength." So I guess he's saying there that Gwaine doesn't have the strength to see this through.
I think he just said, "Let the blessed smith us with his strength."
Let the blessed smith us with his strength. It's been a long dragon time. I'm not even going to bother editing that. You just need to know how long we've been recording.
By abandoning Kristen, Gwaine is disobeying his Lord Hand, the voice of the king.
Look, I'd be willing to believe that Kristen is allowing Gwaine to leave.
Daemon goes to the Gold Cloaks place, and the whole place seems to be damaged and abandoned. Like, it looks as though it's been ransacked. Like, are there any Gold Cloaks left?
Is every cop dead? Is this Mazari's dream?
Like, yeah, seriously. Like, is the institution of the Gold Cloaks done now? Because it looks like it's been totally, like, overrun.
Well, we know there are
Where
Gold
did all
Cloaks.
the cops go? Like, there's 12 dead ones. Where did the rest of them go?
They're off at the pub, probably.
I mean, maybe the killers are Gold Cloaks.
They could be, yeah.
It's so sad that another friend dies. Like, Daemon looks really upset by the death of Luther.
Yeah, have we ever seen Daemon really that perturbed?
Yeah, the only other time is when Rhaena had Cheap Stealer in the cave.
Yeah.
That other episode.
Damon's been on an emotional roller coaster recently, because episode 2 was the best day of his life. And then episode 4 was like, oh my god, my daughter, oh, what the fuck is going, oh no, oh dear. And episode 5, like, his the police that he invented are dead.
It is great because I really like how this season shows that Daemon really does care about the gold cloaks.
He cares about the people that he's on the ground with. He likes killing other people, and he likes killing other people with other people. If you're killing people with Daemon, you're his guy.
It's called mateship.
Yeah,
All
it's
right?
camaraderie.
It's camaraderie. It's bros before...
It's bros.
It's bros.
That's what it all is.
I love it. And it's been true since season 1, episode 1.
Yep.
I can't believe how often we're talking about season 1, episode 1, because it does tie back in so many ways. But yeah, this is part of where Daemon's confidence comes from.
Yep.
And his strength and his security is that, there's 100 dudes who love me.
And they're in charge of the city.
And I bought their loyalty. Yeah.
But they love me.
But they love me for me.
And now they're dead.
It's my personality.
And the dragon's not gonna fix it.
He hosted all those orgy parties for them.
And now they're dead.
And now they're dead. So all 3 of these intercut sequences have a light in the darkness.
Yeah.
Alicent and Helena have this little candle that goes out. Kristen has this little dwindling campfire in the dark forest. Daemon has a fire going through the darkness. I guess this is about the last little glimmers of hope going out.
Yeah.
For Alicent and Helena and for Daemon and for Kristen. This is about the dying of the light.
This is about it being fucking over.
Yeah.
And I like how Gwaine flees the dying of the light instead of raging against it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas I think Daemon's gonna rage against it. No.
I would love just Daemon just being a bit broken for an episode.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
And Rhaenyra being frustrated at how useless he is now.
How much supplies did Alicent and Helena pack
For this, quick squiz into a tunnel?
for their escape from the city?
Oh.
Is this not their attempt to escape the city?
Because, I don't think they have anything.
Do
with
they have
them.
food?
I don't think they have anything. I think they have a light and then they drop
I feel
it.
like their plans aren't great.
There's desperation and then there's carelessness.
It is fun that one of the secret passages has been bricked up.
It makes sense.
It makes heaps of sense.
Yeah.
Because people, Rhaenyra knows about the secret passages and she knows that murders have happened through them. So it makes sense that she would brick some of them up. And it also makes sense that she doesn't know where all of the passages are.
Hey everyone, something really important that we didn't notice is that this is the exact same tunnel that Rhaenyra went down in season 1, episode 4 on her, little traipse to explore her sexuality with Uncle Daemon. I think it is really important that this tunnel is blocked off for Alicent and Helena now, but we will discuss this at length in the next Dragon Time, so just hold your horses. Of course, we have to go back. There is no way back. The door is shut. Alicent is sort of talking about her life. She can't go back. It's over.
Yeah.
And she's telling that to Helena as well. There's no going back. This episode ends so beautifully.
Yeah.
Kristen saying the stranger offers us rest as Daemon rounds the corner to see his comrades murdered and displayed for him, mocking him, humiliating him, ruining him.
Is that the gold cloak's own entrails that are on the table in front of them a meal?
It would be, wouldn't it?
That's pretty upsetting.
Dude, that's
stuff.
grim as fuck. What a disturbing visual. If I'm Daemon, I'm never sleeping correctly ever again.
Yeah. But it takes time to do this. The murderers had control of this building for hours.
Well, that makes sense. They killed everyone.
And no one noticed or raised the alarm? No one told the Red Keep?
Well, all the cops were dead. Who was going to do that? All the cops are dead.
They're screwed now, aren't they?
But who's watching the city if the city watch is all dead? A feast for traitors makes you wonder who considers Daemon, the city watch, etc. traitors.
Well, not Ormond.
Yeah.
Because traitor implies that the Blacks betrayed King Aegon and the Greens. And Ormond is betraying King Aegon and the Greens by pushing Darren. So this is not Ormond's rhetoric.
I figured it out.
Mm?
Who thinks that Rhaenyra is a traitor? The Dragon Keepers. The idea of paying the Faceless Men with a dragon egg is thrown around.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point.
And who would have the easiest access to dragon eggs? Dragon Keepers.
Yeah, that's cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they have motive. They don't like Rhaenyra. At least the Dragonstone ones don't. And Dragonstone get to Braavos relatively easily. Case closed.
Do they hate Daemon, though? Not really.
They hate... No, here's it. Here's it.
Here's it.
They kill the City Watch because they want to be Daemon's best friends instead.
I think the feast thing calls to mind the food theme with Mysaria.
Fucking da. It's the nobles of King's Landing.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it is.
It just is that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's just it. It's over. Like, it's... how did it take us this long to get there? It says a feast for traitors.
We've been talking for like 6 hours. That is the answer.
That's it. It's so obvious. Like, honestly, people are going to make so much fun of us.
Yeah, we deserve to be clowned for this one. Because Rhaenyra served
How did we get to Helena Werewolf?
We went down, I think, more than 10 theories.
And it never once occurred to us that it was the people who Rhaenyra insulted at a feast.
Fucking hell.
God damn it. Are we done? Is that dragon time? Is it over? Do we have more words to say?
Thank you for listening to Dragon Time. After 5 hours, we have solved the mystery.
I have no idea how long this is.
Comment below how long it took you to figure out the answer. And if it was less than 5 hours of talking.
It might not be that.
I'm 100% convinced. Like, the structure of it is perfect because they set it up in episode 3. And it pays off now in a way that is obvious in hindsight, but not obvious to us.
I think it is obvious to the casual viewer, and the only reason it didn't occur to us is because we're so addicted to coming up with harebrained ideas.
Yeah. I think that, like, it still doesn't quite explain how the gold cloaks were killed in broad daylight with no witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hope there is more to it than it was the rich people Rhaenyra pissed off. I'm interested in how Aemond is connected to it.
Well, the killers are being paid with Darren gold.
Yeah, no, I think it would make sense that Aemond is taking advantage of the problems Rhaenyra has created for herself by coordinating, organizing, encouraging, paying.
Well, Aemond is funding it, at least partly. And so maybe Aemond got the rich people to help hire killers.
Maybe it's promissory. Maybe it's like, if once we take the city, you will be rewarded. Like how Daemon says, once I take over China, you will be rewarded.
I love that sentence. I guess the question is, if Aemond's funding it, in what way exactly are the rich people involved?
Oh, maybe they're not, and this is a false flag.
Well, maybe what will happen is Rhaenyra will blame the rich people, interrogate the rich people, and it'll be wrong. Like, maybe Rhaenyra will start, like, shaking down the rich people, or shaking down anyone desperate to find the murderers. And she has good reason to think it might be the rich people because she just antagonized the rich people.
At a feast.
But she's just antagonizing more and more people.
Yeah. You know, I think that works. Well, I hope you enjoyed us trying to figure that one out.
Gladys, did you like this episode
I
of
really
House
did.
of the Dragon?
I really did like this episode of House of the Dragon. It's so dense, and so many of the scenes had things in it that I really wanted to see. Some things are a little dum-dum school, but I like it.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think in our chat, the Kristen thing won me over. I think I like the Kristen arc. I really liked Alice's like initial scene where she's being spooky and scaring people away.
Oh yeah,
like that really connects to the lore for me, and it also is just fun. This haunted house stuff, and I like the Aemond Alice relationship. It's making sense to me. I like the mystery of like what is Vhagar up to. I guess Vhagar's just being Vhagar, and Aemond has no connection, and just that feeling of Aemond's vulnerability with Vhagar gone is fantastic.
I really did love Baela's theory crafting that Vhagar's gone off to the Westerlands. That just it makes the world feel so real that she said that.
Yeah, I love that, like, she's thinking. And I love that Baela and Adam got some characterization and some emotion this episode. I love that there's cats in the keep.
I love that Mysaria and Alicent are playing off each other now.
In ways that make sense and are earned and are tied to the past of those characters.
I adored Aemond's scene with Darren and cyvasse talking about history. And
that was awesome.
Like, it's so many of these scenes fucking rock.
The exchanges with Torrin Manderley and Lady Frey was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
The Laris critiquing Aegon thing was fantastic.
It's cathartic. But yeah, it's just the Alicent escape plans getting increasingly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra treading water plot-wise a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, some things are a little frustrating. But
Yeah.
overall, I loved pretty much everything else.
I feel like the structure and the editing was annoying to me.
It was
like,
too much for you?
Yeah, it just felt very like hectic and disorienting, the pace at which we were jumping. Like I don't think there has ever been a House of the Dragon episode that has this many scenes in it. And I think the result is that it feels a bit muddled and hectic and confusing.
Like disjointed?
Disjointed. And I think that, like, it's probably purposeful. Like, I think that they want us to feel like Rhaenyra feels, which is disoriented and stressed.
Yeah, maybe.
I just don't like it so much as a structure, personally.
Well, you should try having ADHD, because I found watching this episode to be delightful. I loved that every couple of minutes I was somewhere else talking to different people. I love that so much. And I also really love how this show takes material that appears to have no connection and manages to weave a theme through it.
Yeah, I love all the different parallels. And I mean, that's one of the strengths of a show that has 48 characters, is that you can find all these interesting parallels and contrasts and relationships that could not exist in a simpler show.
That said, I'm fucking done.
Oh, yeah. But I was fucking delighted to talk about this episode. And thank you, everybody, for listening to Dragon Time. You can listen to Dragon Time on podcast feeds.
You can listen to Dragon Time on the toilet.
You can listen to Dragon Time a horse. Whatever floats your boat.
So long as you're in your
Pajamas.
If I can get a pajama company to make me Caraxes pajamas,
Ooh.
then all of this YouTube bullshit will have been worth it.
Yeah, no, you're right. We do need some custom PJs. See you next week.
Bye.
Woo!
Thanks for listening. It's spoiler zone time, so get out of here if you're not interested in spoilers. But I know you're interested in spoilers. Come on, what are we here for? We're here for the spoiler zone. Come on in. Oh yeah.
And that's similar to the Isle of Faces in the book. So the Isle of Faces is the mysterious island where the antlered green men, satyr, clip-clop fellows live.
It's just over there. It's just in the lake.
We've never seen the Isle of Faces on any of the shows or books.
Oh, we saw it in some shots, some establishing
We
shots.
saw it from a distance, but
Yeah.
no one's ever been there except allegedly Howland Reed off screen.
And Adam of Hull also off screen. Sort of. Everything's off screen in Fire and Blood. Anyway.
Yeah. Spoiler zone. I think that Helena might commit suicide via caterpillar.
I think the caterpillar is more of a metaphor than an actual method of death. And I agree that Baela needs to use that, or someone needs to use that crossbow. Do you think it's going to come up in the Storming of the Dragon Pit? Is Baela even there for that?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good question. Where the hell is
She
Baela?
might be in the show, I guess.
Maybe she flees because she wants to protect Moondancer.
Maybe she flies away on Moondancer and shoots someone with her crossbow as she does so.
Hell yeah.
You know, with that implication that the faith is uncontrollable like dragons, it'll be cool if Aemond tries to rally the faith against Rhaenyra for Daemon, but then the faith gets out of control and becomes the shepherd and the storming of the dragon pit, and the faith becomes this whirlwind cyclone of destruction beyond Aemond's control.
Beyond anyone's control, yeah, just like in A Feast for Crows.
And all the rioting and stuff against Rhaenyra. Yeah, like the High Sparrow in A Feast for Crows. So yeah, I think it'll be really fun for Aemond to see, oh, this is backfired. Using the faith has backfired against me. And I would like to see a scene where the High Septon tells Aemond, no, you've not gone far enough. We've got to wipe out all the dragon spawn and do all this crazy stuff and burn down the whole city.
Oh, yeah,
Better that the city burns than a single dragon survives. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, the High Septon is way more into it than even Aemond is. It's like, no, we need to make the Starry Sept the center of the world again. Yeah. Spoiler zone, I'm very excited to see if Baela and Adam keep being parallel characters, because their stories collide in such a dramatic fashion towards the end.
Baela and Aegon, you mean?
Did I say Aemond?
You said Adam.
I said Adam. I do mean Aegon, because Baela and Aegon fight on their dragons at Dragonstone, and that's how Sunfire dies. So if Baela and Aegon continue to be paralleled like this, that could be very fun. Cool.
Baela said she wants to die in blood and fire.
Yeah.
I wonder if later in the show, Baela will expect to die when she's fighting Sunfire. I mean, Moondancer is smaller and weaker than Sunfire.
Yeah.
It makes sense that when Baela attacks, she might be expecting to die.
Yeah, like Rhaenys was sort of expecting to die when she went to fight at Rook's Rest.
And like, I think in the books, like Baela takes down Sunfire, and then Baela is like trapped or wounded or stuck, and then Alfred Broom or someone, or Marston Waters or someone goes up to kill Baela, but then someone stops them from killing Baela. And so like there will be a moment, like there is in the books, when Baela is, it looks like Baela is about to die, about to be killed. And I wonder like how show Baela will face that and react to that, given what Baela said about wanting to die in Blood and Fire, and how Rhaenys died in Blood and Fire and Laena died in Blood and Fire. And maybe Baela will have this weird moment of, well, guess I'll live.
And then finally the chain gets to be broken.
Yeah. Baela like sort of came from the expectation of living in battle and fire, but then going, well, someone's got to live, someone's got to marry, someone's got to like...
her dragon dies and she becomes Salt and Sea. She marries Alan and carries on the Valyrian tradition. Yeah, cool. So it's taken 2 fucking seasons, but I'm actually now sort of excited to see what they're building to with Baela. I'm going to put this in the spoiler zone because talking about the trailers, I think some people don't like it when we do that and don't put it in the spoiler zone. But that shot of Helena and the fire and what looks like wind, I think that could be at the Balerian Skull. It'd be like, obviously we want it to be Dreamfire, but it could be in the Balerian Skull.
It could be a vision. Alicent says, Helena, just use the window. And Helena eventually commits suicide. Possibly by jumping out that window, which is the same window where Tom and Baratheon commit suicide to prom.
Yeah.
So in the books, Rhaenyra brutally tortures Tyland. Rhaenyra wants to know where the gold is, and so she brutally tortures Tyland. She cuts out his eyes, like Daemon cuts out this guy's eye. And so I think that's something that this show does in general, is that it takes out all of Rhaenyra's worst crimes. In the books, Rhaenyra does a lot of bad stuff. Like in the books, she tortures Tyland, she orders Nettles killed, she orders Vaemond killed. But in the show, they take that stuff out so far.
Or they rearrange it and put it in some other fashion, give it to someone else, make it someone else's thing.
Like instead of Rhaenyra ordering Vaemond's death and Rhaenyra feeding Vaemond to Syrax, it's Daemon who decides to kill Vaemond all of a sudden. And instead of Rhaenyra torturing Tyland, they have Daemon torturing this guy, taking out his eye. So I think that like they're taking away Rhaenyra's worst acts and giving them to Daemon. And I think that, you know, they're telling a different story, because in the books, Rhaenyra's downfall is caused by her paranoia, her fear, her brutality, her cruelty. She makes bad decisions. But in the show, they're taking away her worst acts, and so she feels more like a victim of her circumstances.
Well, I think she's also a victim of herself, because her carelessness, her paranoia are feeding into the decisions to let these things happen in her name. And I agree that is like a step protracted from the self-guided destruction that she goes through in the books.
Yeah, she does less in the books, but her motives are more aligned with making the war happen. But I mean, certainly, like during the period where she rules King's Landing, she is more active, and she does a lot that causes her downfall. But here, sometimes I feel like we're getting a bit. She's like, "Oh, I wish I was in control, but everything is going badly despite my efforts." Also, in the opening sequence, we see the small folk tearing something yellow, pulling at something yellow.
Yeah.
I think that's the death of...
gold cloaks, right.
True. Well, yeah, that could represent the gold cloaks.
Right,
but what I was thinking is that it represents the death of Rhaenyra's dragon Syrax in the storming of the dragon.
No, that does make a lot more sense.
Yeah. I'm also pretty convinced that Alicent might drug Helena with moon tea against her will, which is like how we think that Alicent might murder Aegon with poison.
Yeah.
And there's something so tragic about Alicent drugging and harming multiple of her own children.
Well, yeah, the trailer indicates that Alicent will go to Harrenhal, as she said to Aemond at the start of this season. Is Alicent going to play a role in the deaths of 3 of her children?
Yeah.
Is Alicent going to convince Aemond to do things that will lead to his death as well?
Yeah, that would be dark. I guess the alternative is that she tries to convince Aemond to leave and save himself, but he refuses and ultimately dies as a result.
Yeah, maybe.
Either way could be interesting.
You're listening to Dragon Time.
You are now entering Dragon Time. Please put on your seatbelts and gird your loins, and we shall ride this lizard to realms hence before unseen.
Put on your 3D pajamas now.
Remember to put your oxygen mask on yourself before on your dragon.
Underneath your saddle, you will find windshield wipers.
Those who have prepaid for sandwiches will receive them henceforth.
Those who have not prepaid for sandwiches will go hungry like Baela.
Please stow your bags of gold upon your dragon before takeoff.
Caraxes, you're going the wrong way! Please do pay attention to this pre-flight warning.
In the event of an emergency, inflatable safety slides will deploy from behind Caraxes' armpits.
Please do not, under any circumstance, say the word Dracarys.
It's not funny to say bomb while riding a dragon.